And we are here. Welcome to the Kino Korner for an all-exclusive interview with Ancient Oracle. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing fine.
I've had a rough day, but I'm going to make it. Just like
I think
everybody
we all
else.
have.
Yeah, it's been a doozy.
It's been a doozy, but we're here to bring out the Kino and comfy content.
That's right.
With that being said, Oracle, I want to jump into me not playing this video, for example. But yeah, my phone went off randomly. But I just wanted to jump in to getting to know you more of like who is Ancient Oracle? How would you define Ancient Oracle?
Define myself as a person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like what makes Ancient Oracle ancient, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I was raised to be an oracle, to be a spiritual guide, to heal people. So I've spent the majority of my life doing that and connecting people to each other.
I mean, you're pretty damn right because I think you're one of the best moderators that the entire community has. One of the top one moderators who doesn't start bullshit. They just make sure everyone's having a good time, get the trash out if need be.
Oh, that's the goal.
Yeah, that's what intrigued me when I noticed you within certain gaming communities of like how people lit up in chat. Anytime you came around anybody that was anybody in chat immediately knew who you were. And I immediately thought, I have no clue who this person is, but I want to get to know them because if they have that type of impact on other people, then they've got to be worth the time to talk to them, sit down with them, have a discussion, open up and see what they got going on. Because that to me is where it's at when you got so many people that are willing to shout you out, give you the recognition, stuff like that. It kind of makes me feel like, okay, that's got to be a good person.
People want to be respected. People want to be treated, with dignity. And they want to know that if they make mistakes, that it's cool if they're willing to be cool. And I think a lot of moderators just take it to a whole different level and they find everything personal. I don't care what half of these people are saying, it's not, on a troll level, but
we kind of do with our fair
people,
So you don't take the wrench to the extreme like some other people would, is what you're saying. Like you.
Well, absolutely not. It's not my channel.
Exactly.
You're in somebody else's channel trying to help them, make them more comfortable so that they can perform. Because we're all performing in a way when, you're making, especially live content,
Yeah, with especially the places that we've been around. Like when I noticed you being a mod, you're not the type of mod to have we call it the wrench wedge, where it's you wear it to flaunt and you don't show you're not like I'm a fucking mod, look at me go. No, you're a mod who just for especially live channels, that's a pretty tough fucking job because you have a lot of people want to say a lot of stupid shit in chat and you're just trying to make sure that the streamer is comfortable, the chat is comfortable, make it a good fun time.
Yeah, every time I see her pop up, I have them thoughts of like I said, everybody in chat lights up. They have the recognition of like, oh, that's Oracle. And I see the coffee cups deployed, and I'm like, man, that's got to be something beyond just there's a connection there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that
It really is. That there's, especially through COVID, you know, finding connections, just trying to be somewhere or get your mind off from things, whatever, like even on a regular daily basis, there's some content creators I watch weekly, like you guys, and or whenever it pops up on my phone, I'm like, oh yeah, because I work from home, and you know, it just it is what it is. But I forgot where I was going with that.
I know. It's no worry. We forget. Hell, we don't even know where we're going right now. We're just in the moment. Speaking of connections, though, I talked to you last night about the. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, so don't judge me. But the was it Melon? Melon? Is that how
Milan.
you? Yeah, right. And for the people out there, how would you describe that to the people that would listen to this? Like their spiritual vocal harmonization. I don't know exactly the category that music would be in.
Right.
How would you
Well,
describe that?
music is known to be healing through civilizations from uh, forever. Music has been a healing instrument. So, um, it's really important to get those sounds into your brain. If you're different ailments and feeling different things or going through different things in your life, everything that you put into your body, whether it's noise or whatever, it all affects you. It affects your DNA, your cells. So I think, some people don't really think about it. They don't really, it doesn't occur to them, but everything is vibrating. We're vibrating, everything around us is vibrating, and it's very healing to the body.
Well, to me, with where I was going with that and like correlation to having a connection with what we were talking about, I've watched her and what I would suspect would be her husband.
Her
If
partner.
I'm her,
I
her
believe
partner,
so. Yeah.
yeah, and my God, like you can tell that they harness some type of energy between one another,
Could
and
you
it's hard.
imagine being in a room with those people, like,
I don't
feeling
even think
that?
I could tolerate it. I think like you're talking about vibrations.
You
I
come
think
right
I
out of your
would.
skin.
Yeah, I don't even like. I was watching it and I was trying to show to my wife like my interpretation of it was well. For starters, I did make the joke. If they ever went on tour, how do they remember the lyrics?
Right.
At first, I was like, hold up, like how are they? How does that work? But then I was like, okay, all right, I need to do my research here. you know, like just the sounds that that they're making. But it was more or less I was taking in. I was just making an observation on their body language, their facial expressions, and I was seeing how they were feeding off of one another. Like the energy was real vibrant between both of them in just a room, and they were just harnessing this type of energy that most people would dream to be able to have, like just that connection with somebody. And
Right.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. I looked at my wife and I was thinking, maybe we could sit in a room and make noises, like
Do it.
give it a shot. I don't know, but
Do it.
Yeah,
you
well, like
know,
with the
it,
whole music thing, it's I think music is very healing. Like whenever I'm in a stressful situation or where like I need time to unwind, I'll just either get to find a nice seat to sit on and just listen to some music. I believe music can be a healing tool in certain situations to where you want to unwind, and listening to some good songs will help you really mellow out and make a stressful situation a lot less painful to deal with, because as long
For
as you have
sure.
something good in the ear to help you, like with work, I mean, I don't know if you guys do it, but whenever I'm working, especially like retail, just good music just helps me get through the day so much. So easy.
It's really important. I think a lot of people dismiss that, and over the years, I've realized that people that don't like music and don't put on, like I have a song. I have a song like I put on when
Oh,
I
you're
don't
talking about like
when
a
I don't know what the
go-to,
fuck I'm doing.
like just like this go-to of like
Yeah. And I think that
I
people
need to
that don't
recollect, become more centered with the moment. I need to, you know,
Oh yeah. Like I got those 3 songs, and there are like 3 different very powerful emotions or feelings or things going on, and people that don't listen to music, there's something not right. They're not the willingness, the want to like, pull the vibration of music into your body and just like release tension and decompress, and it's like, are you okay? I don't
Yeah,
know.
on this topic of music, do you have like any favorite artists that you like listen to in those to focus on and you really get back to the moment? Is like any artist like you go, oh, hit their music, oh, it helps me get through the day.
Um, ooh, awesome. That's a good one. Um, I used to listen to Remy Zero a lot throughout the
Mm.
years and would always go back to that one. And then City of Color was one that I listened to a lot, just like a regular album that I'd throw in cleaning the house on a regular basis, just whatever. But uh,
Yeah, so the
there's
things like
Jude. Jude I
oh,
Know is one of my top favorite songs, Summertime by Janis Joplin,
Janis
and
Joplin's awesome.
New Speedway Boogie, The Grateful Dead.
Mm.
So those are like
ooh,
my 3 like
You know what song always got me was I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven when we're dancing cheek to cheek. I don't know what it is about that. It
it
just
it's
take
that
like you're
it's the
say explaining it,
vibrations from the
yeah,
song,
it
like it
takes
it
me
hits you in
to,
different levels.
it's either that or me and a friend was talking about this last night, like Nancy Sinatra, I think it was. Bang bang, he shot
Mhm.
me down. Bang bang, I was 5 and he was 6. Riding horses made us do. It's just like you vibe off of certain things, and it just correlates with just the natural energy of the universe. Like we wouldn't coexist without some natural flow, that keeps us like you just our inner chi. You know what I mean? Like that keeps us
Mhm.
like it's like what me and you were talking about last night was like there's things that make us who we are. You know what I mean? And there's just a natural flow of just it is what it is. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be type thing.
Right.
yeah.
And
With
what
certain
about
music,
you, Bacon?
for me, I really resonate with classical music. Like with you guys ever play Fallout? It's their soundtracks and their music choices are one of my favorites. In fact, I don't want to set the world on fire. Big Iron, Mr. Sandman,
Boom,
bring
boom,
me
boom,
a
boom,
dream.
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I'm a big fan
Oh
of that.
yeah.
It's things with music from that era. It's just because nowadays it's your hip hops, your raps, your
Right.
pop, your. I mean, there are some good songs in there that I really do like, but I think something from the classical era it was just so soothing to your ears. It was something to just keep you going and keep you in a good mood.
Who's your favorite composer?
John Williams, definitely. John Williams,
Nice.
the man, dude. Like even through all the Star Wars movies, like you can say whatever you want about those movies. The best part about those movies is definitely the soundtrack. It's iconic. You
I'll
cannot
agree
beat
with
It
you there.
100%.
Yes. And remember, he made this shit in the 70s, okay? Science films were, I mean, you don't get me wrong, you had your commodities with Star Wars, the Invaders of the World, and Independence Day, and so a lot of all these classical movies that really pioneered the science fiction genre. And I think science fiction composers are the best on the fucking top, best of the best. And don't get me wrong, I have John Williams tied with John Carpenter because of how much I love like Halloween. That soundtrack is absolutely breathtaking to me. But I think with something like science fiction, because science fiction is so out of there. It's so it's not based on our world. It's out in the stars.
It's like
Some
astroplaning, really. I
yeah,
mean,
it's Astro.
it's
Yeah,
on that level.
yeah. It's just something about me. The unknown of the space is something I really like, and music that really really correlates with that to me is it really helps me out, especially with things like Fallout and their songs they have for their soundtracks. It's fucking great.
Uh, that makes or breaks things for me, even in a movie. Like, it's got to be good.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you'll hear an epic action scene. It's just two dudes with a flute. Are you kidding me?
Well, you can't knock that. I mean, at least they're trying.
What's your favorite composer, Michael? Yeah, anyone on the mind?
Not necessarily like anything like earlier when you were talking about classical, I thought we were like talking about like Beethoven, Mozart. That's where my mind immediately went
No, I mean
as far
those
as
are classics.
I
but,
will.
mean,
Well, I
I
think
mean,
like with Beethoven in general, just the trials and tribulations, the testimonies or whatever. Like, I mean, that man overcame a whole lot of obstacles.
yeah, but
His
the man was also full
story,
of shit.
Yeah. Well,
brilliant.
I joked with my wife all the time. I was like, could you imagine being his neighbor? Him
I
being
mean,
deaf, piano on the floor. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you just randomly hear bum 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 bum. Bum, bum,
well,
bum, bum. And everybody in the neighborhood's like, hey, cut that shit out, man. What the
Oh
hell?
man,
It's
I'd
2 in the
love it.
morning. And bum, 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 bum.
fuck you,
That
I'm
to me.
deaf. Pull out the deaf
Or at
card.
least whenever. Yeah, dude.
The
I'm right there
weird
with
thing
Greg
with
on that one.
Beethoven is it's actually well documented that Beethoven was a scatologist. And if you don't know what scatology is, it's the science of shit. Beethoven was literally the originator of toilet humor. If you look up some of Beethoven's lyrics, which were few because Beethoven didn't really have lyrics for his composing of music, but most of his lyrics for his composing was literally just toilet humor. It was just him talking about shit. This is a true fact about Beethoven. The man, he's a great musician, pioneer of everything that we have today.
Like,
But the man
he was
fucking
scatting about for years, apparently.
yeah, the dude loves shit. But yeah, I think with me, it's like Frank Sinatra. A lot of like let's fly away.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's good.
You're about
Speaking
empty
of,
there, Will.
yeah,
I hear it.
I know.
I heard it. Go get you
It's
another
nearly
one.
there.
Don't,
It's
don't
nearly
make me
there.
spaz
We
on
should
you
have like a
again.
Mountain
Got
Dew
that.
counter. We should have like a Mountain Dew counter in the corner. But on the topic of video games, Ancient. So, what kind of game are you looking forward to that's going to be releasing this year? We got a big number. We got God of War, Callisto, the Dead Space remake coming up soon, Gotham Knights, which is actually coming out this month, which I'm not very looking forward to. But what kind of game that you're like thinking of? Yeah, I can't wait to play that one. Which one is really
Not.
the one in your list?
I think she's already got the
Not.
one she's been wanting.
Yeah. Yeah. I I like shooter games.
I'd like
I
some
like to
Modern
run
Warfare
around with
2.
a hatchet and
Yeah.
That's
Like
Well,
so really like all the games that have been coming out and all the remakes and like I just haven't really cared for it. They're
what
using
would be a remake that you would
ancient
want?
technology at this point. Like,
What would be a remake that you would want?
mm,
Like, there's got to be something rattling up there that's like, you know what, 30 years ago or 20 years ago, you know what I mean? Like, if we could have that right now with today's software, what would it be?
ah, Time Crisis,
That's not a bad
Unreal
choice.
Tournament.
That them are all good choices. Is there a connection there for you though? Like, is there nostalgia to where you think about moments, or is it just, you know, just top of the thoughts type games where it's
I
like,
think the most enjoyable games for me, like performance wise, they're just the movement in Time Crisis is undeniable. And then
yeah,
you have, you're on a clock and you've got to do this or you've got
it's a time
people.
crisis.
Right, yeah, so like I think that would probably be the most epic remake for me. Considering the stuff that they've done already, I think that they could really do something with that game.
You know, I've talked to you know quite a few people about this, and then myself included have the same opinion. Anytime a game incorporates a clock, that pressure of like, oh no, oh shit, I gotta do it. I gotta, like, oh my god, like I got this long to go. Like I gotta do it. It's like, I don't know,
It's a
it's anxiety and
psychological,
yeah, it's
you
anxiety
know,
inducing. It's like,
you get that push.
and then you get to the end and you got like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left, and you're like, I knew I could do it. I
My
had it in
favorite
me.
is like, getting that like just right there. Like just right there. You only have like 1 second left on the clock and you're like, oh,
Them are like, that's when, like, back in the day, could you imagine if people had just the technology available to clip game clips back then, like we do nowadays, where it's like, oh, you got to clip that, like chat clip that or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
man, I was doing that stuff. Just hook up your consoles to your computers and like, you're talking a whole dining table just to hook a bunch of stuff up together and then film your gaming. And that's
"Ah,
what
you
I
just
was doing
described my setup.
when I
Like,
wasn't working,
yeah.
that as a teenager. Like, oh, I don't one of my first jobs was like at a skate shop and it's like, man, I'm gonna go home and monkey mouse my entire computer and do something
The
cool. And
whole
my friends
time
are
you're
gonna come
working, you're
over
thinking
and we
about
would
that.
do LAN parties and like in massive ones. We're talking like 30 kids and the parents would just, okay, we're going to have it at our house this week. So parents would take off. Everybody knew what not to do and how not to behave, and everybody was cool. So, like, we would have massive LAN parties and just, and every kind of nerd, a brilliant genius, a prodigy, was there. And it was a beautiful time. I think, I'm 38 years old. Gaming is entirely different than it used to be. Everybody knew each other. There was like a handful of female gamers that could outgame any of the dudes, and they were all respected and left
Personal
alone. And
vendettas were created.
but it was just like a family, really. Like we were all like cousins or something. And now you're gaming online, yeah, but half the time you don't know who you're gaming with. You don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I get to have a connection with the outside world, or I have this person I game with on a regular basis, but you don't really know each other. And I think that's one of the shittier parts about gaming right now. Not just, you know, old technology being put into gaming right now that's 20 years old, but the lack of connection between individual gamers.
What's your take on female gamers as of today's standards? Oh well, I mean, when you brought up like back then, girls beating guys at certain games, and then I have my own opinion,
Um,
but I was thinking, from a female's point of view, so, like
what's your opinion?
well, I think now this is just I haven't crunched the numbers, so nobody can quote me on this, or I'm saying don't quote me on this, but statistically, I would think the majority of gamers would be males. With that being said, I think statistically, with this small margin of females that there are that exploit their body for views and clickbait, and the majority of people that are viewing this source of entertainment being males that are more inclined to look at the female,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I think, things lie to, okay,
Well, women
there's
are
something,
taking advantage of men
you know what I
in
mean?
gaming, definitely.
And I think, and I mean, more power to them. I mean, if there was more men out here that felt comfortable with their sexuality and exploited, themselves in such a way, I think that
Well, I
it might
mean,
mutually go. But like I said,
to some
statistically,
people
there's not
that's
enough.
cool. To me, I think that's ridiculous. It
Oh
it,
yeah,
it voids the point of gaming, like
most
the
certainly.
feeling, the environment of gaming. So I don't know.
I'll be back really quick.
I've only
Continue what you're
found
saying.
a few female gamers that I thought were cool, good gamers, respected themselves, and were actually gamers and not just out there to like make money off from bored, lonely guys on the internet.
Yeah, looking at that position, for me, I look everybody. I look everyone is equal in my eyes. Okay, if you're a girl gamer, you're just a gamer to me.
Right.
Everyone, if you enjoy to play games, that's you. But there are people that do exploit this certain because a lot of people in the gaming community are very young, very impressionable, and in the most sense, very horny. So when you
Hmm.
have women like this that don't play, majority, I watch these streams to really study this, and these ladies, they don't even have the game. They don't really show off any gameplay. They could be absolute garbage at it, which I mean that's fine if you're
I
still playing the
mean,
game, but they just usually they'll have a t-shirt on with a certain position on either the chest area or their ass, and I just think that, like, why you're ruining the entire thing for gaming. We're just here to just play games and have a good time. That's what remember when gaming used to be a fun time, used to be a fun hobby. Nowadays, people abuse it for personal gain, to sexually exploit people from out of their money, and it's a sad reality. But to me, I girl gamers and dude gamers are just gamers to me. I don't think and especially nowadays when people just absolutely just being actual sexual deviants online, being sexist as hell, calling like you if a girl goes into game chat lobby, rest in fucking peace. So it's like especially like Overwatch and shit, Valorant. I've
it's
seen
over,
people go,
man. It's
it's
over.
over.
And a lot of
It's
these females roll into places like that. They don't demand respect or show respect to other people. And then they get mad and they can't hang.
Look, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Frank Caves, Pocket Kitty, Johnny, Coffee Euphoria, Greg Radford, M Dragon, Dr. Hino. Let's see here. Drew AF said Prime Bacon is so
fuck,
cute.
I know
No,
who that is.
I mean, I don't
That's
give a fuck who he is, but I'm just letting you know. Rat Gaddy, thank you for the support. It means a lot to us. We're discussing everything and anything important with Ancient Oracle. So yeah, that's where we're at. I mean, when it comes to female gamers, I think there's a threshold there because me myself, I wouldn't consider myself a sex addict or anything like that, but at the same time, I do like, well, I mean, sex, I guess you would say. But I mean, when there's an attractive female playing games, I think that is a bonus in my eyes. Like if they're actually playing game, I mean, but if not, you know what I mean. But I'm just saying, I
Partially
think,
because I'm female, I like playing with female, you know.
well, I was
But
telling
at the same
somebody,
time, it's like I'd rather hear female noises. It's just more comforting,
yeah,
really. I
well,
mean, a lot of times the masculine noises or the male, people in the game, they make all these like crazy aggressive sounds or, and if you're, I don't know, it's just
like
nice
some
to
Tim
hear,
Allen Home
you know.
Improvement.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like, I don't like that. Sorry, bye.
for
No,
sure.
I mean, well, it's like when the discussion we had last night, and I've talked to a couple people about it, where I was raised without a father and bounced around from house to house with my aunts, my grandmother. I was raised by all females. So growing up, I feel more comfortable and more inclined to talk to females, which it's got me in trouble. But that's where I feel more in my comfort zone, more in the element talking to women than I do males. So I completely
It's
understand
more
what you're saying.
nurturing to you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
so yeah, I mean I get that, but it's like I mean, because the way the women on Twitch, just gaming in general, exploit their figures.
Twitch
That's
promotes
where.
it though.
Yeah, I mean, it was like that. What you Bacon talked about, that woman that got railed on
Yeah,
video.
yeah, got railed on stream. 7-day fucking ban. I have seen people get banned
Yeah,
for literally showing a little, like their pants would be down slightly and they see the ass crack and they get banned for 3 months. Sometimes it was even a whole lifetime ban. Like, what the hell is that? That is clearly showing favoritism. I mean, I can understand it by a business standpoint by Twitch because a lot of those girl streamers really put a lot of fucking money in their pockets. But on the other hand, I'm a big believer in fair, okay? Fair rules. Everyone gets punished the same way. If you're gonna ban a dude whose ass crack was slightly showing on a stream, why did you give this girl who literally got fucking railed from the back a 7-day ban? And that's not being gender specific at all. I don't want to be that type of guy, but you can clearly see that the female streamers, and there are great female streamers on Twitch that don't exploit their bodies, that just want to play games. I'm a big fan of that. But the women that do exploit that just to get horny kids to donate them money to
Mhm.
subscribe to them, it's a fucking bad thing. And I think Twitch is the worst. I think YouTube streaming has a big advantage over Twitch on that, is because everyone gets treated fair way. You can get fucked
Right.
royally by YouTube, but it's fair game. Not
Half
on
the
Twitch
time,
though.
if that happens to you, it's because you did something you didn't, like it's more on the individual content creator versus the actual company.
Yeah, like there's a Twitch streamer a couple years back that got, her name was Alinity, and she got her titty popped out on stream. She was
no,
readjusting a
I've
bra.
seen that. Research
She
purposes.
didn't get banned. She literally begged Twitch on Twitter to ban her. She herself
Hey,
was
get
like,
that Trevone 77 out. Hold on. No, Pocket, get
"That
that
the
motherfucker gone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nah, I'll nip that shit right in the fucking bud.
legit." Like, she
I'm
had her
sorry.
whole titty exposed. She literally had to beg Twitch to ban her because Twitch's moderation team,
That
I don't
makes
know if
no
they're.
sense. So
It
a
makes no
titty's
sense.
not offensive, but a male butt crack is? Like, come on.
Legit, people were
It,
like, Alinity did a thing where she like took a picture of a butt on stream. Males did that on stream as a joke to crack at the joke. Hey, like, see, look, Twitch's moderation is completely fucked. They went after the male ones and banned them for 5 months, and she didn't get banned at all.
what?
Well,
Man,
look. I don't think it's by
No
a
worries,
gender
Mark.
thing. I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's because of a money thing. Because women
right.
gamers on Twitch make a lot of revenue for Twitch, so
It
that's
brings people
it.
in. It's
It
free
gets that.
advertisement.
Yeah, and last thing they want to do is get rid of their biggest their biggest
Well,
players.
who do you blame though? Because I'm just going to level here. Like, if I was a female and I had assets to work with, and I could exploit them for, you know, the reasons of clout, making money, and this is just coming from me being a male, thinking about what I got to do to get or whatever the fuck I want, as opposed to be like, hey guys,
Yeah.
don't forget to like and subscribe. Come on, guys. Just all right with that. You get what I'm
I mean,
saying?
yeah.
If I like held that power, I'm just saying. I mean, so that's where I'm like, who do you blame? Do you blame them, or do you blame Twitch, YouTube, or wherever? I mean, how do you mitigate that as being an issue?
I think that goes on the company because it's a human animal instinct to use your sexuality. It just is.
Ain't
It's
smacking it rain over here.
so that's I think it comes back to the company. And really, if you look at that long-term business-wise, how many people can you fuck over before you put your business in the red?
Well, I
So
think
then
that's
you
where
have to
Twitch is
sell to
going.
somebody else, and you have to change the way that the platforms ran, and then you run into legalities and other things that just suck money out of a company just quietly. It's just
Yeah,
like draining it
they're
out the
just siphoning
backside,
it.
and people
Yeah.
don't even know that it's happening until they get to a certain point. It's like it's just bad business.
But at a certain point, do you think that should be lucrative?
I think it needs to be categorized and separated from gaming.
And if you go for
Yeah.
if that's what you're looking
Like
for, go
if
to
you're
it.
looking to watch half naked people, male, female, whatever, um, go here.
Save that for the hub.
Right.
This is Twitch. This is what Twitch is now. You want to watch somebody sit butt ass naked and fucking watch birds, and here you are. You got it. But
Man, I
I
almost
don't understand
subscribed based on you saying it. No, I'm playing.
why they have it, affiliated with gaming. It doesn't make sense to
There's no
me. Like
correlation
YouTube
between the two.
did that, and it's worked for them because they stick to a basic set rule list of how they run their business and how they treat the people who bring money to their business. So
Well,
maybe you don't
that's where
like
I was
all of
saying
the way things are done, but it's done that way
that's where I was saying,
for a
can you
reason.
necessarily blame the female for doing it, or can you blame Twitch for enabling females? Like, hey, you're bringing in views. Come on over.
It's on
Yeah,
the
we'll give you a
company.
7-day
You
ban.
you can't you
You know,
can't define things by individual morality. That
yeah.
that comes back to, okay, you're the teacher, you're the boss here. You don't look to your manager and be like, oh, they're a
Well, to
fucking
me, that's
asshole, they're
almost
fucking
like,
off, they're nice to this person or mean to this person, and yeah, that's cool. No, you go home and you sit there and you think about it and you're like, man, that's really fucked up. Like,
well, that's where I
why,
questioned,
you know
because I haven't really talked to too many females, well, gamer girls in general, about, because I mean, let's be honest, I don't know too many of them, because like I said, statistically, you know, a lot of people are just putting, their gamer picture as a woman. You don't know if they are or not. You don't know what you're getting in. I'd be damned if you even call them a girl, because then you don't even know what they identify as. So you're kind of fucked. You're just like,
that's yeah.
all right, them, they, whoever, it's just like, what's your thoughts on the matter? And that's where I always wanted to, just inquire, like, what's the general consensus amongst females with, which I know it'd be, there's it'll be vastly different from person to person. But with it, you being a staple within communities and the way you conduct yourself and carry yourself, I'll respect you for that 100%. Especially after what we discussed last night. I mean, I commend you, like your, my hands, like ancient or, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like where I hold your opinion a little bit higher than what I would someone else. That's what made me
Well,
question that.
that's
Yeah.
that's been a goal in my life and through all the industries and how I've lived my life and how I was raised. That's really important to me. Thank you.
Most
Yeah,
certainly.
especially the gaming community. It's that's filled with mostly children. It's a very disrespectful area, especially in like game chats, and especially in competitive play. Competitive play, you'll hear the most sexist, racist, homophobic people you will meet on the planet, especially in game chat. And I think with people like Ancient, it takes a lot. It's a lot for just to show respect within the gaming community. That's a big thing for me. As long as you have respect, I'm on board because a lot of people we play games just to get away from work, get away from the tough times that we have to deal with in our normal day to day life. We just want to unwind, play some games, and just relax. And when you just have someone respectful, just wanting to play games to do that as well, that's a big fucking thing, especially in the gaming community. So, Ancient Oracle, you have my respects.
Thank you.
Look, Rick Getty was sitting here, was wondering if Ancient Oracle gets offended by some of the immature male banter that goes on in chat sometimes. What's your thoughts on that? Do you feel a certain type of way when a man comes across the?
Like towards me or just in the chat in general?
I would say and just categorize it as in general.
Sometimes I find it a little cringe. I mean, just some shit, I just put into the public is like, why? What are you doing? Like, what, like, you have a whole ass family, you have a whole ass life, and you're out here just like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel that way, but a lot of times I just ignore it.
Yeah, it's
How
just
does that
always.
make you feel though?
It's discouraging. I mean, baseline, bottom line.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's discouraging. And it's cool to be like, oh, so and so is a hot character or, whatever. And we all joke about mommy milkers and, the whole thing. But there's sometimes just some of the shit is just disgusting. It's
Well,
just
it's like,
disgusting. Like, why are you doing that in public? Like,
I've touched base on this, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but it's just the way my psyche is. And I mean, I'm all for a fat ass. Don't get me wrong. I'll just be clear with that. But like how everybody sexualizes Pan Am from Cyberpunk. And my take was is like, hey, like you're talking about picking characters and certain thing like that. It's like when I played that game, it's like I was saying about she was like an independent woman that was going through like her trials and tribulations. She was trying to prove herself to the tribe. She was trying to lead. That to me is more attractive than just having a fat ass. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like she is like a strong,
100%.
you know what I mean? Like a strong woman that can carry her own and navigate life. Anything that's thrown at her, obstacles and whatnot, she overcomes
I
them. And to
got some
me,
on that.
that
It's really been frustrating as a female all these years. There's always, women in gaming or younger girls or whatever, and they're all retarded. They're all dumb. I guess you can't say the R word, but it
well, I
is.
say tarded because when you add the
I
re, it's
mean,
not politically correct. But I
you
just say
know,
they're tarded.
it's like watching a bad horror flick where you're like, why are you going that way? What are you doing? And you're just like frustrated because and then everybody hates on Abby, but I think it's cool, man.
Um, I never really personally experienced them games other than the first one. I played it for a
But
little
like,
bit.
even with Lara Croft in Tomb Raider, like she's awesome. She's smart. She's
Yeah.
ahead of the game. It's always like on a
Laura
mental
Croft
level.
made me explore my
And she was like
sexuality.
push her body, and she's always pushing herself physically and like
Yeah.
doing whatever. But like in real life, if you're fighting people and climbing mountains and building shit, you're buff.
Yeah.
Your arms are
Well,
ripped.
tone, I mean, well, I'll just point this
Even
out.
if
In
you're
all the
thin
Tomb
though,
Raider
but like,
games, how much did you see her actually eating?
no.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, she was a little bit parched.
We're talking about a chick that did front flips off a mountain, shooting shooting wolves with dual pistols,
Yeah.
fighting ancient gods just to get a little bit of treasure.
Right.
I mean, Lara Croft back in the day was the video game equivalent of a badass Indiana Jones. Legit, like
That was
Lara
the
Croft is a
closest it
staple.
ever the closest I felt like it ever got to like a female being, like, I mean, we're talking
Women
about
empowerment.
fantasy. We're talking about gaming. It's not just like, feminism or blah blah blah. Like if you have a warrior woman, like she should look and act like a warrior, and
Have
she didn't
you
look the part, but she had all the other pieces.
have you
You know,
played Hellblade?
yeah.
That's hands down. I'm gonna say she's the baddest woman out of all the
I'm just
video
saying.
game franchises. Like
Well,
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
care what you say, Bacon. Like this woman went to the depths of
I
hell
was gonna say
to get
Samus
her.
Metroid,
Hey, well,
Zero Suit.
Well, that's close. But anybody that's willing to go to the depths of hell to retrieve your soul,
mhm.
to me, that's a notch up between like from killing aliens and shit like
Right,
that. I
it's
mean,
there's some
same as
elevated
yeah, and I mean,
ancient
there's
world shit.
yeah, that I don't know, man. The lore, you know what I mean? Just the ah,
But
that just
I just it's cool to see thicker, stronger female characters out there, and everybody, oh, she's fat, oh, she's ugly, blah blah blah, whatever. But if you've ever actually picked up a sword
oh, they're heavy.
or swung it,
Yeah, you got to
you
be
know
physically
that
fit.
like these stick figure females that are in gaming, and I don't know, that's been bizarre to me for years. Like I just always thought that was weird. Like here comes Hunk and he's beast mode thick in this big ass suit, and then you get Barbie arms over here with the knockers bigger than her head, and like what's she gonna do?
Well, that's what I was saying as far as earlier. Like, who do you blame with the females and then the companies that are enabling such attitude or because to me, it's like you touched with Tomb Raider and like Abby and other games. It's like to me, like the game or like Resident Evil with the mommy milkers. That did not draw me into playing that game at all. When I seen it, I didn't have the same reaction that the vast majority of the people did. I was just like, oh yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty of titties. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a virgin. I'm not some dude that's like, oh, you know what I mean?
Crusty, dried
You know what
up
I'm saying?
blood milk.
Yeah, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't care
I
about that
don't.
shit at all. But that's where it's like where I shift the blame to the creators of all these things. Like, they're trying to exploit.
Well, it goes back on companies. 100%. Like I said, I don't think it's individual people, consumers, whatever. It all goes back
Right,
on
Gaddy, I
company.
approve of what you said there. Apologize, Oracle.
That you have devs, and now more so than ever, like before, it used to be completely different.
Yeah, well,
Someone would show up with what they were working on with for big money companies and be like, "Hey, you guys, play this. What do you think? Where's the secrets? Where's this? Where's the glitches? How does it run? Where does it run good? Where does it run bad? That kind of thing." And now everything is all paperwork. You can't just go show something to somebody because they might try to make some money. They
Yeah.
might try to screw you over. Like, and
Well, when you play games, do you prefer to play with female characters or male characters?
oh, female, definitely.
I've had some of my friends. Typically, when I jump into a game, um, I normally most all of the time start with a male character if I have the options. I got to make
Mhm.
a Michael Black. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's you.
Just
You gotta make
you know what I
you
mean.
gotta make you.
But most of my friends, they're like, well, would you rather stare at a man's ass or a female's ass? During the playthrough, and I'm like, I don't even think about that, to be
You
honest
didn't
with
know
you.
you were
Like,
looking. Okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just playing the
Yeah.
fucking game. Like, I'm just
Well, with
navigating. I'm not worried. If I want to look at ass, I'm not going to be looking for it in video games. I'm going to be.
That's
There's plenty of places I can look at ass, but
yeah,
well with the whole
real.
video, well, yeah, with the whole video game landscape changing, it's so much like female writing and writing for characters has changed drastically within the past decade, 2 decades. We have breathtaking visuals, great gaming technology. Now we actually have stories with these games with actual great writing, and I think some of these games, not most games, like we're like Witcher. I think Witcher is a great example of not sexual. I mean, it has the sexualization, but it's not like right in your face. It's great writing. The characters are greatly written. With like even Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is the best writing in gaming on the market right now. Characters like Abby and Ellie.
you
These
just
great
about
characters.
summoned James by saying that, and I want to just interject. James sends his well wishes and everything. He had some personal things that he was going through to where he couldn't come on stream. But yeah, you talking about a Naughty Dog? I mean, I'm surprised his ass didn't just pop up like a genie. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you talking about Naughty Dog? But yeah, like they're top notch for sure.
Yeah, and
As
I
much as I
think
hate to admit it.
yeah, I mean
There's a way to do that. It
See, Ashley.
I think someone put in the chat and they summed it up great. Like it's the difference between writing a female character and it's the people saying like there shouldn't be a balance of sexualization and personality. I believe there should just be all personality because we're fucking human, okay? We're not. You don't see fucking Chad over here in the background, just being shirtless and having a jawline that's equal to chiseled as marble. I prefer a character with
On Giga
personality, who's good,
Chad.
who is decently written, that will lead me through a 12-hour game, which
Well,
Ellie
that's
did
kind
in
of
the first half of Last of Us and the Last of Us 2.
like Alan
Characters like
Wake.
that. Yeah, Alan
You
Wake.
know, I wouldn't consider, I mean, I'm straight as straight can get, but at the same time, you can acknowledge somebody if they're handsome or, you know,
100%.
attractive. You know what I mean? And I think, the Alan Wake character, I don't think he had any kind of redeeming qualities as far as, and I mean, no offense to the guy that played. I mean, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying, like, as far as, you know,
We're not on a hate train.
yeah, but it's like there are certain games that do hit that mark of like that's not what we're trying to achieve. And like going with what you're saying, Bacon, I do appreciate that. Look, James popped up in chat.
Yeah, I
He
saw him. He
heard
popped up.
Naughty Dog. I already know, bro. You better grant me 3 fucking wishes, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying. Because like I'm trying to get
Ancient.
there.
For female characters in the gaming franchises, do you have like a main 3 that really pop up to your mind? Like, yeah, these are the top of the notch female characters that not only show, hey, we females can be the lead of a game and still be a fucking masterpiece. And which I'm not here to judge and say, oh, males. And no, I mean, I could play if the game is good and it's greatly written. I don't give a fuck if I play a male or a female. But do you have like a set 3 in your mind, like? For me, for female characters, it goes from Jill Valentine, Laura Croft, and Ellie from The Last of Us. Those are my main 3 in video game females. What about yours? Are you muted? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was muted.
Okay. You're good. You're good.
I was saying probably Lara, but I haven't really gotten to play some of the games that I've been interested in that females were in. I think
Yeah. Well, I
Michael
heard you
Black brought
talk.
up the one game where you go into the depths of hell to bring back. I think
Sanua.
that was definitely like a powerful staple for female characters. I didn't really like Jill, and I was big like horror gaming. I think my first game was like real game was on computer. I was like 9, Doom. But
Doom.
yeah,
What do you
that's
think about the new generations of Doom?
no,
No, immediately.
no.
Just shut that shit down.
I was so excited,
No.
and I don't know, like the last couple ones, I was just not impressed. So we went from having Unreal Tournament to them making Halo, trying to make that game better. And I didn't think they did it then. I immediately, right off the bat, did not like Halo. And
I really liked Doom Eternal. I think Doom Eternal is a good game in my opinion, but that's just me.
I mean, it plays good. Mechanically sound, looks pretty good, but I didn't have that feeling. Like,
Like the
when you're
immersion
playing
wasn't
a
there.
series of games
Yeah.
and you have that certain feeling when you put 1 or 2 in and you go to put in 3 and it feels completely different. Yeah, the immersion, the environment. Like I dig an upgrade. I think every like next game should be a little bit different. There should be things about it that, work better, function better, more things that you're able to do as the character. But at the same time, like, like the game 13 was a really big like memory game for me because at the time I was in graphics and doing art and doing murals and stuff like that. So I was really into comic book art and myself as an artist. So when that game came out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, this is cool. You got the like pow and the boom and you're sneaking around. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Time Crisis and how you wanted to be a remake. Actually, this correlates with the remakes. I mean, I heard that I saw a trailer for GoldenEye 007. It's getting a remaster and it's going to come to Game Pass, and I'm over here like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, you're excited.
Oh yeah, because look,
Yeah.
look, to be honest with you, playing GoldenEye with the N64 controller, I ain't gonna lie, it fucking sucked. It was fucking horrible.
Man. Oh
I
my
think, dude, the
God.
N64 had the worst. I'm just saying right now, X64 had that weird. That controller was a piece of
What
shit.
are we doing? What is this? What is this not?
Yeah, like, what the fuck's up with the 3 handles?
you gotta,
Like, what is this? A fucking steering wheel?
We're
Am I driving a car?
Like a plastic gun or something? Like, I didn't know.
Yeah, especially when what,
Dude,
you're 8 years
fuck?
old, you just got
Go
the
from, like,
N64 for Christmas.
the
Upside
Nintendo.
down, it's like an X-wing or something.
It's
Like,
like, you fly that shit like a
don't-
spaceship.
Jack,
I don't know what kind of
Yeah, like-
engineers they had for that, but
Yeah, but
the
if you ever
Nintendo is like
replayed-
this little
yeah.
tiny dude, and then you
Yeah.
have like
you had the like
Super-
regular
Super
rectangle.
Nintendo, and even Atari and stuff like that. You have these like smaller controllers, and it was just so bizarre to me.
Well, you had like the little stick.
Yeah,
Yeah, you had the
with
stick
yeah.
and just one button. The N64
Yeah, but
had
that made a
the
whole lot more
trigger,
sense
D-pad.
than having
No one knew how to hold the thing. There wasn't
No.
like you either hold it like this or like this. It's just the fucking hell. But I think with GoldenEye, like if you ever played GoldenEye like recently, like on an emulator with like either an Xbox controller or the actual,
yeah.
it plays really good with mouse and
It's-
keyboard.
it does.
And so I'm hoping with this remake, they kind of really, I don't know if it's like a full-on remake or a remaster. Either one I'm fine with, as long as I get to play 007 in high quality. As long as the controllers are defined, the visuals give a good bump up, and the game, and I want to have that nostalgic feeling of, because 007 was the innovator of first-person shooters by far. It had a big impact. Without 007, I don't think we would have gotten things like Perfect Dark, Time Crisis, Call of Duty, Battlefield. Like, these first-person shooters would have nothing if GoldenEye
It-
wasn't on the market. And that was a movie-based game, based on a
Right.
movie.
Right. And it really, I mean, it hit the market and it really changed gaming
Oh yeah, for a big time, especially back then, because
for
back then
shooters
it
for sure.
for shooters, and you saw how we've now innovated so far from that. But I think a good return to the N64 era with GoldenEye, with a nice new coat of paint, redefined controls, new UI. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. I don't give a shit what anyone
I
else
could use
says.
a couple more areas, some new spaces, like go through the
Oh yeah,
original
definitely. Maybe
mapping
some
and
like
then
there's gonna be multiplayer too. I
oh
heard there's gonna be
man.
online multiplayer. If it's co-op campaign, I'm gonna play the fuck out of it.
It's
It's
gonna
so
be
good.
kind
I
of
will
hard
play
for
with
them to
you.
fuck it up. you
Like,
know?
how can you fuck it? I mean, they did like release like a remake back in the day, but it was just a shitty Call of Duty knockoff. It was absolute garbage. But I can't wait for this one because I fucking love GoldenEye. I played the shit out of it when I had the N64 as a kid, and I played the shit out of it when I was running on an emulator with the mouse and keyboard. And sometimes with the controller, I beat the shit with all the fucking
yeah.
objectives done. Because
Oh, yeah.
whether you like to deny it or not, GoldenEye is fucking hard, especially on the harder difficulties when you have to do all those fucking objectives. Oh, it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be fucking
Bobblehead.
fire.
The bobblehead cheat.
Oh my-
with
Remember that? You remember that?
yeah,
I love
Yeah.
there
that.
was yeah.
I love that
Most
bobblehead
shit.
games, you
cheat.
know. Oh damn,
Like,
damn! You just pulled that
Serious
out of nowhere.
Sam. And the like
Have you played the new one or the newest installment?
the like trilogy or
Well, there
there's
was a new one that
Serious
came
Sam,
to
yeah.
Series X only.
No.
no, I haven't played that.
Um,
I have it on my
the
Switch.
guys behind Serious Sam, they made Hotline Miami, which is a great game. If you haven't played it, check it out. It's pretty fun. But yeah, I think with things like I saw that Game Pass release like a Doom, like a classic Doom inspiration game. I think it's called like Eternity or something like that. I have to look at my list again. I played it and it reminds you of old 80s Doom where it's very slow. It's very just looking up and down was a
Right.
commodity. The 2D animations, the
Yep.
classic feeling of rip and tear until it's done.
Right.
That look, classic games. I don't know why. Modern games are breathtaking storytelling, but something about those classic games like Contra, Ninja Gaiden,
It's
that
the
feeling.
feeling. It is.
it brings you back to days to where you didn't fucking work. You were just a little kid holding the box controller that was the Nintendo with just the old classic Konami code: up, down, down, left, right, BA, start, get your
Oh,
3
yeah.
lives in Contra, and just keep on going.
when
that
gaming
is
was
just-
so hard.
Oh yeah, it's when Konami was actually a decent company. God, they shit.
that too. Man.
Yeah, but I think with nowadays, I think games are definitely innovating, especially in the field. But whenever, if I think with classic gaming, with like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, just back in those days, it was like the Wild West. We didn't like there were so many things for those consoles. Like NES had the zapper or whatever it was called, the gun
Oh yeah.
for duck hunts.
yeah.
They had the
Oh, dude,
track
I
and
played
field
the shit out
pad.
of that.
You had the track and field pad for track and field. One of my friends actually just what he did was he actually laid down on it and just slammed his hands against the pads. It's like, you fucking cheater.
yeah.
I mean, you gotta do what
Yeah.
you gotta do. I mean, some people aren't inclined to run as fast as us. It's like
Well, I was born in the early 2000s, so I wasn't born in that era. But I kind of grew up in the 80s, 90s because we couldn't afford a lot of the new stuff when we were because we live in the fucking trailer. I still live in this fucking trailer, but we had a lot of classic things like we just had VHS or once in a fucking blue moon we saved enough money for a DVD player. We had Nintendo. I think the first game I ever played was
you heard Blu-ray
Key-
and thought it was a cousin.
Oh yeah, legit.
No.
I think the first game I've ever played was definitely TMNT for the Nintendo, which is a pain in the ass game. I don't know how any kid could actually get through that. I swear, a lot of the NES games you can't beat. You just can't beat because it's those
You
games
gotta
will
have
fuck
an
you up.
understanding of the program.
Yeah.
Because all them games are programmed to have, an enemy come here, go there. It's like you got to watch the pattern and you got to coincide within that pattern to navigate from point A to point B. And in my opinion, that was the beauty of old games.
Not being able to move, like, where you wanna move, like, there's something about that creates, like, that anxiety, like, that feeling, of old school games
The
where, like, you can't look too far up or you can't, and you're trying to do something or look around or you've got something chasing you and you can only,
Well,
the
especially
closest
with
thing,
now
well,
it's like
especially
everything's open world and you can move however you want, but there's a beauty to that made gaming harder. And now I feel like gaming is just really easy.
the closest thing that I could say that is similar to that effect is Cuphead that
oh,
I've played in the last
masterpiece.
10, 15 years probably. Like the closest thing I could see to being like the old school difficulty would definitely be Cuphead. I don't think there's another game that really embodies that old school style, just simplistic controls, you just this is it. This is
Yeah.
what you
It
do. Here's your difficulty.
Oh,
Well, with
yeah,
things
with the
like
cartoon animation and
Oh,
yeah,
aesthetically it's a beautiful game. Like I
yeah,
wouldn't take nothing away
like
from that.
yeah, taking inspiration from the old classic Walt Disney cartoons, and not only the gameplay itself is fucking great, but the soundtrack. I think what Cuphead really emulates from the older genre games is having that fucking soundtrack. Like, you can say whatever you want about the technical side of the Nintendo. Those 8 bits played some fucking tunes. Like, you had the Punch Out thing, dun dun
it
dun
has
dun,
you going, man.
dun, 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 dun. Like those fucking 8 bits had some bops. And I think Cuphead, anytime I would play Cuphead, I don't know if you guys ever watched this animation as a kid. It's like I love the singer from the Tuda and the Duna and the Dina at that Springer at the sky up blue for a T for two and just saying I love you. I love to sing. That the old Walt Disney cartoons are very near and dear to my heart. I had that stuff on VHS. I used to watch Steamboat Willie when I was a kid.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah,
I don't know who you're
Steamboat Willie.
talking about, but I was just hyping it up.
Well,
It all
it's
goes
the
back to
first it was the
vibration.
first Mickey Mouse cartoon where he's on the boat and whistling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah. So Cuphead's very I love the game. It brings back old memories of childhood. And I think we need more games like that. I mean, it's visually breathtaking just by a cartoon standpoint. Great soundtrack, a hard game, but a game you always come back to. I think certain games nowadays have that factor of like once you beat it, do you really want to play it again? And I think Cuphead's like fuck.
the
I'd play that shit.
Yeah,
replayability.
right?
Replayability.
With the
Let me beat
That's
this
what-
real
replayability,
quick
yeah.
so I can restart.
Like my
It's always
kids have been like, "It's my turn, Daddy. It's
Yeah.
my turn," and I'm like, "No, I got it this time.
No, no,
Just
no, I
after
almost
this
beat
time,
this guy.
yeah, just hold on. After this one time, but you died 10 times, Daddy. Let me play." And it's like, it's coming up. Just hold on. I'm going to beat him. Just give me.
I'm gonna beat him. I'll beat those punch. I'll beat those boxer brothers on the boat. I swear.
Right?
Let me just get the spread
Let
gun.
me get just one more time.
Real
One more
quick,
time.
I want to interject with where we were talking about sexual exploitation with females, etc. earlier. What was your thoughts on since you mostly play Nintendo, right? Oracle,
Uh, yeah,
you would say what was your thoughts on the Mario movie trailer?
I I got like 3 seconds in and I swiped.
Oh, that bad. I mean, damn, you seem like you were personally affected by what did it not live up to the expectations? Just or
I mean, it's that whole, when you take something and you completely change it. What?
I mean, that's what the old Mario with Danny DeVito did. Like Bowser was just a business dude with spiky hair, and Danny DeVito was just actually just a basic ass plumber there. But for me, it looks visually breathtaking. From it does have that old, definitely the Mario look. The visuals are great. The character designs are beautiful. Bowser looks fucking ferocious in that first scene. But I think it really all boils down to me is how the characters are written or how they are acted. Especially, there's a lot of controversy about
Oh, yeah.
Chris Pratt playing Mario. I could say my piece on that, but it's like Bowser, I'm fine with Jack Black playing Bowser. I think that's a funny role for him. Charlie Day as Luigi. If you haven't seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he does have big Luigi vibes. But with all these different characters and everything, it depends on me how they are written and how the movie is, because a lot of these, I think what's really revived the big video game movie like revival, because back in the day we had fucking so many up the ass, but a lot of them were just fucking trash. I think the Sonic movies recently have really gave those projects and those ideas a green lit. So I don't know. It looks good. I'm just worried how the movie's actually going to be. I'm not the one to judge by voice actor. I'm here to judge if the movie's good or not. And speaking of movies, next week we're going to be hitting with Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends. How do you guys feel about that?
That's
I'm just like, thank God. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, in that franchise, incorporating the word "ends" is the best thing I've heard. Just kill that fucking series, and that's just my opinion. I do not like any kind of series that does not have a conclusion. I don't like thinking, okay, here's another installment, here's another installment, here's another installment. Okay, like we're like, well, how many films has it been?
We've had 2 in the past 4 years. We had Halloween.
I'm talking about as far as a whole fucking series. Like, how many fucking films do we have to watch before we go? Like, when does it end? Like, when are they going to fucking figure it? Like, finally be able to deal with this motherfucker? Like, I mean, put him on house arrest or something. Well, I'm just saying, like,
the franchise was going to originally be an anthology series. I don't know if you guys seen Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. That after that Michael was dead, so it was like every Halloween movie was going to be like a different story to tell. Which, whatever you say about Halloween 3, I think was a good idea, because right now we're just so exhausted with Michael. We've seen him so much. I'm at a point to where I'm done with this character. We've already seen what he can do.
13 movies.
13 fucking movies at this point, and most of them are kind of fucking shitty, especially like Halloween Resurrection and Halloween.
Well,
Halloween
we
6.
don't got to get into that. I mean,
Trick or treat,
after 13 movies,
fucking Buster Rhymes busting Michael on his ass.
Statistically, you know what I mean? Like, out of 13 films, some of them are bound to be shit. But that just goes to my point of, like, before you get to that pile of shit, let's end on our own terms. Let's not end to criticism and just playing the character to death. Let's just go out with a bang. And they could have probably fucking did that like 8 movies ago.
They could have.
That's just my take.
It's always the company. It's always if this character makes this amount of money. But in my opinion, I think there are certain. I mean, the Hellraiser movie dropped, the new one. I haven't seen it yet. I know.
I'm not even going to watch that movie. I'm not even going to lie. Look, when I grew up, Hellraiser, like, dude, Pinhead used to be, that was like, when I was a kid, that was like my top chief of horror, I guess you would say. And I seen the image of their representation of Pinhead in this movie on a thumbnail, and I was just like, that's not nowhere near what my mind was envisioning. I mean, that dude I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm just not going to watch it. I'm like, nope. You missed the bar.
I was exposed to Pinhead at a very young age because I don't know what there was like this DVD that we had. It was like a compilation of horror scenes from like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Pinhead, Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I've known about Pinhead for a long time, but watching this trailer, I just don't know, man. In recent years, I think Clive Barker, his stories are being misrepresented, and I think this new one, look, they're just banking. They're just banking. They're cashing in.
Yeah, well, they're
Which I
banking
can
on the
understand at a
wrong
hustler
cash cow,
standpoint.
though.
Yeah,
I mean, name
yeah.
how many concurrent people like nowadays growing up know who the fuck Pinhead is.
People
You
who
get what I
play Dead by
mean?
Daylight.
I bet you
and
if I
complain about 'em.
well, I know that, but if I went up there and my kid's about to be 13, and I was like, "Hey, son, you know who Pinhead is?" I guarantee he'd be like, "Is that a Fortnite character?"
Oh my god.
I don't know who you're talking about. Now, like, I mean, what do you? But if I go up there and say like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, he'd be like, "Oh, like yeah, I got you." But to me, and that's another one. As much as I like the Pinhead series, I mean, how many movies did they have?
Yeah, I think
Back
with
in the
certain
90s,
characters,
they had quite a bit.
I think it's certain characters from horror genres. Freddy, I've heard that they're in talks for a movie about him. I don't know if you can do it without Robert. Robert is Freddy to me. He is Freddy Krueger for the entire until this planet fucking rots. Robert Englund will always be my Freddy. I mean, you could say whatever you want about Jackie Earle Haley in the remake. I think he did a fine job for what he had. The writing was really bad, but I think he did well for what he was given.
It wasn't
But
the
if they
same.
it wasn't the. I feel like they really took Freddy in that movie in a light where it didn't need to be. Like, do we really need to? I mean, it was speculation in the older movies, like, oh, did he touch the kids that he was killing? But
Yeah,
in those movies, no, he was just a kid killer, and he fucking enjoyed it. In that remake, it made it out to be creepy.
That don't make it
Freddy
any
being
better, though. And it was just like what we were talking about earlier. Like, who's to blame for exploiting or enabling that type of story or narrative? Like, hey, man, you ought to check out this film. Oh, what's it about? It's about a guy who likes to touch and kill kids. Come check it out.
that's the company, man.
You get what I
No.
mean? Like,
You
I
tell
don't
the
give
writer,
a fuck
no,
about that.
man.
To me, I don't want to watch
Take
that
that
shit.
script and go burn it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
But people like,
you have companies out there that run all the numbers. They know what everybody likes, what they want to eat, what they want to drink, what colors they love, what words and what writing looks best. And it's a whole
yeah,
thing. It's big
it's
money.
a well, it's like a clusterfuck of like psychological, implication of like this, like what you're saying. This is what statistics will show. People were more keen to support. This is what they want to watch, And to me,
yeah.
that just tells you how fucked up society is as a whole. Because it was kind of like when we were talking about the High on Life where you killed a kid. I'm like, if anybody gets off playing a game just wanting to kill kids, that kind of tells a lot about their psyche, their development of like, okay, like, well, what the fuck are you on, dude? Like,
I'm
no,
just saying, like, FBI, keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
right?
FBI, keep
You
an
know what
eye
I
on
mean?
him.
You know what I
Hey.
mean? That's wild.
Yeah, I just think that with Freddy, I don't see him getting a movie. They better either they find a good actor, just do it differently, and just make sure it does. I
How,
just don't want it to copy what we've had before. I want
how
something
many
new.
movies has Freddie been in? Maybe
Freddy's had
Pocket will look it up, I
no.
think.
Frank mentioned Dream Warriors, which is my favorite film in the franchise. It's tied with New Nightmare. I think they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say 8 if you count Freddy versus Jason, which I actually really do enjoy. From a horror standpoint and a writing standpoint, yeah, it's really garbage. But just the fact of seeing Freddy and Jason just duke it out in a bloodbath with two horror icons colliding and just beating the absolute shit out of each other, it just appeals to me a lot. I don't know. Just seeing those classic horror characters we've seen so differently in different movies just collide in a bloodbath. It tickles my bone.
Who's your favorite villain, Oracle?
In gaming?
Well,
or
I mean,
videos
both. Let's
or
let's hear like your gaming and movies.
I had to think about that for a second. Ooh. Was it the Pyramid Head?
Understandable.
Yeah, that one kind of
Any
like
reason why it's Pyramid Head?
It wrecked me. You know, like gaming, man. I mean, that one got me. That one got me.
Yeah, with Pyramid Head, I think if with like game, I think Pyramid Head really shined in like Silent Hill 2, to where it's not really less of his urge to kill you. It's the reason why he's there. It's
Right.
him.
Yeah.
It's him. He's an embodiment of everything wrong with the character that you're playing, and it's God. The storytelling in that game is it's so fucking good.
It's
so good.
really immaculate. I mean,
That's a game that deserves a proper remake. Like with some like on the same level as RE2, that needs a proper remake.
I wish that they could do it, but with the way they're putting games together now, it could take another 5 years before they have the people that are capable.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Because Konami is such a shit company now. They don't know what to do with their licenses. They can't. Dude, when
It's an
PT got,
artistry.
but
You're not. You
Konami
don't
holds
just.
all the cards though.
they
You
do,
don't go out and be like,
but
"Oh,
they don't
I'm
know how to
gonna
fucking
cut
play them.
hair," and
Well,
not
no, I'm
be
not
an
arguing that.
artist.
It's like the barbershop losing its best hair cutter. Like
It really is.
and Konami, they fuck up so bad. I remember when that demo to PT came out, it was a fucking game changer for a demo. Keep in mind the atmosphere, the horror, the mind fuckery, especially when you see that dead baby fetus in the sink when you enter that bathroom. That shit was fucked up. And you see Norman Reedus like being the main character. Oh my god! Imagine if that game came out. It would have been such a game changer.
For sure.
Kojima in my mind is still a fucking great storyteller, and is one of my favorites for creating shits like Metal Gear Solid. But I think what Konami really needs to do is really try to find a way to step up, do something new with Silent Hill, or either remake one of their top games. In my opinion, should be Silent Hill 2. I like Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3. Those are my main 3 that I like. But I think Silent Hill either start off with 1, then go to 2, or do the whole 3. I think those need a proper remake with a new way of visual storytelling, redefined gameplay, a new voice acting. I mean, I hope they get the original voice actor for James Sutherland. I hope they do.
That would be
because
nice.
James is my favorite protagonist in the Silent Hill franchise. I think what they really need to do is just find a way to really show off people like, hey, Silent Hill, we're here. Okay, we're one of those innovators in the field, because it really was back then in horror storytelling. It was so much. It was different from Resident Evil because it wasn't all about zombies. It was all about what's up in here. It was mental warfare. That game would make you legit depressed. And that's what if a game could make me that fucking sad and sad as hell, that's what you call great fucking storytelling and great writing.
It's so good. You're like
it's so good.
Sweating and having tears drip from your eyes, and like that's a part of the experience.
Like if a game can change you, that's how good the game is. Like the ending to Silent Hill 2. Fucking hell, man. I sat there after the credits were rolling and I was just like, motherfucker. That That shit makes you low key sad, but that's what a
Yeah.
good game can do to you. Like I remember beating Red Dead 2 and seeing Arthur's grave. Just like if a game can do that to you, that's when a game truly shines. What's your favorite Silent Hill? Ancient? You have one in mind? 1, 2, 3, or any other?
I mean, one got me just on like, you know, the initial effect. But I think 3,
Yeah, 3 is really good. I personally prefer Till
it
2, but 3 ain't a bad game. It's a great game.
I think I was expecting something else with 2.
Did you play
And
3 then play 2?
uh-huh.
Hmm. I can understand. I played 2 and then I heard everything about Silent Hill 3. Then I played it. I enjoyed playing the game, but 3 didn't have that same impact on me that 2 had. 2 I really had like a personal connection with because a lot of the things that James dealt with, I've had similar stories, not to the effect of what he did, but something similar to where I can kind of resonate with him. And 3 has great visuals, great storytelling. Especially they bumped up Pyramid Head's character in that game to a new fucking level. Like, God, I wish the original team of Silent Hill could really just like either make a new IP that's not under Konami. Like I know how Callisto and the original Dead Space guys are making that. I would love to see something similar to that
Well, they were
for
artists,
Silent Hill.
man. They were
They
artists.
were. If you've never
It's
watched like the behind the scenes of Silent Hill, like these guys were sleeping under their desks to render these cutscenes to make this game. They didn't go to their homes for 4 months. If you're ever interested in how these games were made, just watch the behind the scenes documentary of the creation of these
Oh,
games.
yeah. I know
It was a
all
mixture
about
of
it, man.
crunch time, uh, but that's
It's
what it took to
beautiful.
make. That's what it took to make those games. Blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights.
And
That's what I
that's
think.
what gaming used to be. That's what making games used to be. And now it's like I was saying, you don't, it's not like you go to the person that gives you a pedicure and you're like, "Hey, can you cut my hair?" Because you know how to use scissors. Like that's not, and that's what's going on in gaming right now. Like, oh, I can become a dev because I know how to do this or do that. But are you an artist?
Yeah, I think with video gaming now, it
The
feels like they're just
artists
back.
don't want to sign the paperwork. The artists don't want the silence and the discomfort of, what
Well,
big
the
money
artist gets
does.
shamed by the companies. That's what happens. Like the ones with the biggest minds and the
Oh
biggest
yeah.
innovators when they shine, but the companies that
And
are
then you think
that they work
about
with,
the devs that are artists, they're not they're not great at socializing, or they don't like being in the limelight. They don't like being in front of a camera. They don't want their voices heard. They want, you're talking about people that are like savant, intelligent, like don't care about society or functioning as, clout, and all that shit doesn't matter and didn't matter then. It didn't. It was like, oh, don't I don't don't let anybody know I helped you out, like just you put that on you. That's you, man. Like you did this, and now it's like, oh, but I'm a part of this, and I want my name shown, and they're putting all these people out there to make games that are just entertainers or influencers versus actual devs.
well, games nowadays feel like they're factory made. It's just produced on a fucking wheel to just be wheeled out and for people to buy. Back then, it was when art was shining because gaming was such a new, innovative field where there was no restrictions at that point. With games like Mortal Kombat, that really set the standard for the rating system in video games.
Right.
Back then, it was really a time to shine for creative thinking in video games. But now, the people with the best ideas get either underpaid or fired for unexplained reasons, or the people behind those games have no passion in the games they're making and they're just making a new game just to put more money in their pocket. Games back then felt like people made it for a reason.
Hmm.
Nowadays, the only reason I feel like they make these games are just to make money, which I mean, I can understand. You got to make money to
That's
live.
that's not passion and dreaming. That's just
No,
financial comfort.
like treating video game making like it's a 9 to 5 is something I would never imagine for someone who wants to make games. Like if you want to make something for people to enjoy, if I was ever behind a game, I wanted to like I would be in a whole crowd of people in that fucking studio and saying, "Why do you make games? Give me a reason why. Are you passionate in the games that you are making? Because passion is what makes games shine. That's what makes games worth the play. Are you doing it for a
100%.
reason? Are you doing it just to keep your fucking house afloat?" And with people like the behind Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 1 and 3, like the people behind those games, like you explained, they didn't really want to talk much. They're because the smartest people, the innovators, the smartest people are not very social. You know why?
Oh,
Because they don't give a fuck.
these
They
guys
just
are
want to do.
sleeping at their desks in their chairs with their teeth not brushed for weeks, with their hair a mess, greasy, with trash food all around them, and they were getting paid to live like that and to do that because they were capable of making shit that could rock your world. And now it's like, oh, I gotta look good. I gotta, you know, I gotta make a little video. I gotta show everybody what I'm doing. They're like, nobody cares,
It's
man. I don't
it,
care. I,
I
I
can
want the
tell.
grungy pizza box dude that's been sleeping by his desk for 5 fucking months. I want him to make my video game.
Yeah, because those guys that are doing that are the reason why we have innovations in the field.
They're gonna
Silent Hill.
take me to another place. They're gonna remove me from my reality and make my brain drift into another realm, and I can go and, you know, cut people's hands off or do whatever, and I don't go to jail. It's nice. Like, like, I
It
wanna
is
dip out,
nice.
man. I don't
It is,
That's the
and I
whole point of gaming to me is, like, just the immersion, mental break. Like, it's a fucking vacation, man.
it is like you don't play
Welcome to
games
the
for.
Matrix.
It's like you don't play games for it to be a chore. That's like literally the opposite of what video games were meant to be. They weren't meant to be a chore. They were meant to be a therapy, a break, a something to get away from your problems, to have something to just do something that to
Yeah.
play and
Something you
enjoy.
could do with your
For
family,
for
something you can
me,
do by
it's
yourself.
to be immersed in an alternate reality that's better than the one that I exist in. If that makes sense,
Yeah, you play games to see what
I want to be
to
captivated.
captivated, immersed, to feel like you're really there. And games
Well, I
like
mean,
Silent
it's just
Hill and Red Dead 2
yeah.
are the games that did it for me.
Well, I've had a plethora of games that did it for me, and that's why I'm so passionate about games now. Is because it helped me escape a lot of stuff that I had going on. You know what I mean? Whether it was family issues or addictions or
We're all in
just
something, man.
yeah, you know what I mean? And
And
that
it
was
doesn't matter,
always
whatever angle you come from, but real gamers are all in something, and we're all looking for some kind of decompression,
and that's what it
some
is.
mental relief. And, now it's just like, oh, big money's taken over, and all the real gamers are getting screwed, man.
On a personal note, I wanted to say, like the big thing for gaming to me, so this was like around 2019, and my father passed away, and I didn't really know how to. And for me and for my brother, we kind of take emotion differently. I'm very open about things, and I like to talk to people. He he's like very enclosed. He's very just to himself. So during that time, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was just out. I felt like I left the realm of reality. I didn't know like what day I was in, what I wanted to do, and it felt like I was in a void. And I but I got Red Dead Redemption 2, and that game, it's not like the game like really helped me through because the immersion, the storytelling, it fucking hooked me. And within those days when of the down times of me not wanting to wake up in the morning because I would wake up and just feel like shit automatically and go to bed feeling shitty. Like those sleepless nights of just me laying in my just me sitting in my chair and contemplating. Like I would always like if I'm in a bad mood, I always thought, fuck. And those during those times, like Red Dead 2 was there for me. That game was there to help me through the bad times, and that's why I'm so passionate about video games. Video games have helped me a lot. It's the reason why I'm probably still here. If Red Dead 2 didn't have its writing the way it did, I honestly think I'd still be lost. So I have a lot to thank for video games as a whole. It changed my life. It's got me here with all you guys, and it saved my life.
I'm sorry to hear that, Bacon, about your father. I'm sorry about that. And it really it's a testimony to the reality of what gaming and music is to us as humans.
Yeah, it's always about the art. Art can change you if it's done right. Even if it's a painting or music or video game. It's a very big change for a lot of people. It's especially now with the technical breakthroughs we're having with video gaming and actually having storytelling behind these games with great writers. It's fucking beautiful. It is. We're seeing little change. We've had so much big change within the last 2 decades in video gaming. We went from Pac-Man on a wooden box. We went from Pong in a military base. Now we're up to games like The Last of Us remake, whatever you want to say about the game. It's one of the best looking games for the next generation right now. It's such a big, we have changed so much from back then. And me personally, me getting to see that change from the early 2000s all the way up to here, I feel privileged. I feel blessed because we're literally seeing innovation right in front of our eyes. And it's
imagine what we're not going to see.
Fucking hell. Imagine gaming 2 decades later. Fucking, I know VR is becoming a big thing.
I mean, fuck
I don't
VR.
think
I mean, but that's
whatever
just,
you want to say. Whatever you say about VR, it's still big innovation. Like we went from the Virtual Boy, which was red and black pixels that barely functioned with didn't even come with a head strap. Now we went from the Oculus Quest and Oculus and these new VR headsets that are literally changing the game.
You know, but that still gets me. It's like how they say like screen time on your eyes is strain. It's bad for your eyes.
Then they're about to put it up on your face.
And then they fucking strap a damn screen right fucking here. And they're like, yeah, guys, this is innovation. Play it.
It's safe.
Right? And I'm like, no, the fuck
is fluoride in your toothpaste.
Yeah, like, no, like, what the fuck what is this? And then you see motherfuckers running into shit and they're hitting their fucking kids and their family members trying to damn fight off zombies. I'm like, what the fuck?
You better have a big space. You'll have
breaking
holes in your walls.
$800 TVs. Like,
yeah, I've seen plenty of shit like that where they're like walking the plank, like, let me jump off this skyscraper because that's always what the fuck I wanted to do in my reality. And I'm like, well, why are you even doing this? Like, no.
The only wish that I would have for video gaming right now is, we have so much innovation in the visual standpoint, the gameplay. It's big breakthroughs, big breakthroughs. But the thing I really want right now and where we're lacking recently is the storytelling. We're not getting the par of visual or great storytelling that saved my life. And I mean, I don't expect that kind of storytelling. I mean, it's hard to do that when a game literally saved your life. But I think right now games feel like a factory-made job more than a passion project, which is
I think
what you would never want to play.
Back in the day, it was solely single-player campaigns, no matter what you played. And then it picked up, and then they were like, well, let's be innovative. let's create it to where, we're going to put a console in everybody's house. We're going to have them connecting on a whole nother level. They'll be able to play comfortably in their own, dwelling. And then, and the next thing they created a headset. Now we're in parties and shit. So it was like they were driven to be innovative in that aspect, but then it's kind of like that narrative of the single player immersion, have a connection with the character. That all got lost somehow or another in the transition. It was just more worried about how can we link people together and have multiplayer. Because when I was coming up, I despised multiplayer. When it first started coming, I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, James ain't gonna be able to come over and play with me in my house? What the fuck? Like, no, we're gonna have to like play online and shit. And at the time, it was like, hell, my internet ain't even good enough to fucking do that. Like, I mean, what am I gonna do? And then it was like,
that.
You know what I mean?
Well,
and then it was like over time. Now it's like I find it hard to even play games without playing with people that I know or playing. It's like I don't feel the incentive for me to get on and just sit by myself as a grown ass man using my time. I mean, but that's just me. But it's like if somebody like Pocket Kitty, if he hits me up and he's like, "Hey, you want to play Grounded?" Fuck yeah, dude. Let's play it. But that's where I think it got lost.
Well, there has been a couple bright spots within. I think there are games on the market that do take the multiplayer approach with the campaign approach. Like, I don't know if you guys ever played like It Takes Two. That game,
best co-op campaign I've ever played.
Oh,
Me
It Takes
and
Two.
Gregory Radford, it was in chat earlier. We played that game together.
That game, if you have like a significant other or a best friend, play that game with them. Legit.
Have you played it, Oracle?
Have you ever played It Takes Two?
I think she's having a moment. What? You all right?
Fine.
Okay, I was like, is this the Kino Korner? It's like, like we're taking a knee right now, or like what?
Man,
So
the devil got me there. I'm sorry.
Did he?
I got a little distracted with that, and I'm
Oh
a
yeah,
big Zelda fan.
yeah.
Well, characters like Zelda and Princess Peach, they feel more of an objective more than of a character. Oh, your princess is in another castle. Oh, collect the Hyrule or collect the shards to collect the pieces to get Zelda out of her sleep. Like, they feel. I mean, it's different now with like Breath of the Wild, but even then, like those characters don't feel like characters. Those are objectives. Those are goals that you have to complete.
When we were playing them, we wasn't thinking like Mario or Link was maidenless. Like, we wasn't thinking along the lines of that, So I agree 100% with you. I don't think it was more or less. It was just the incentive of like, that's the goal in mind. Like, we've got to save
the princess.
The damsel in distress type deal, All right, okay, they were main characters. We'll just stick with their
characters. Yeah, but it did feel like that, I guess, to me as well. Maybe not everybody, but Zelda was like, a side character to Link, like, and I don't know.
Hey,
like, she has her name is on there.
Princess Peach, like you're trying to save her. You're trying to, make her yours, make her comfortable, whatever you're trying to do in the game. But it's like,
I think that's why I like Hellblade
that
so
character
much.
Was kind of disappointing to me growing up because I wanted Zelda to be more important.
Yeah, her name is literally in the title.
Yeah,
make her
you're
better.
Like chasing her around, but like, where is she?
She's in another castle.
No, you gotta go there. You gotta get her.
I wanted more.
Gotta be Ganondorf.
I wanted more of Zelda, and not so much as of Link. Like maybe more pair fighting or doing things together.
Now
but
that
it was
would
like
be
constantly
an idea.
Like chasing, and I mean.
That would be a cool concept for like a co-op.
Breath of Wild, it didn't feel like
give us a game where Zelda
I wanted
saves
to play
Link.
with her.
Yeah, well, that's where I was like saying with Hellblade.
I mean, I know she's talking to you and
Senua's
stuff,
saving
but
this man, that's like the roles were flipped. Like we're so used to for the man to be going out here and saving the woman, and it's just like, well, if that woman didn't put herself in the bad position to begin with, she wouldn't need saving. I mean, that's just my thought. It's like,
Are you sure Peach was there by? Do you think she was there by
well,
accident?
you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm just me.
I gotta
like, if I was
say-
Mario, I would have been like, look, now I like
She
ass,
do.
but like, is it
Peach
really
do like
worth?
turtles.
Is it
Just-
really
know?
worth going through all this trouble? Look, Luigi, you can take this one. Like, I'm out.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I mean,
But with Sanua, it was like, I mean, it was a whole different direction.
Well,
that,
Devil, Peach did matter in Mario, but it wasn't the fact that she was a good character. She was an obstacle. She was a goal that you, once you beat the game, you saved her. Boom, everyone's happy. You saved the princess. They're like she had no personality. Even I thought, look, we're in like 2 decades of Nintendo. They've changed so much with now everything else. I thought by this time we would have like a more characterization of these characters like Princess Peach and Zelda. I mean, don't get me wrong, Samus is great too. I love Samus. I think she is definitely like 100% better characters of Zelda than Peach, but I think they still haven't gotten to where they don't feel like cardboard cutout objectives like they do. They're not characters. They are goals. They are your end goals. Save the princess, wake up Zelda. It's just that, but that's my opinion.
yeah.
But we done got triggered on that one.
I
Pat's getting riled up.
was trying to listen to you, and then I saw that comment, and I was like, well,
I'm not even gonna lie, it was an
can we
oversight on my
talk about
part.
it though? Can we?
Yeah, no, I mean
where
most
the fuck was
definitely.
Zelda at? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to play with her, and yeah.
Well,
I mean, the only time you ever get to play her is in Smash Bros. Which on
but
the
they missed the opportunity there for like, even though like statistically, the margin of female gamers might be minuscule in comparison to males, it's like they really missed the bar there, especially in nowadays. They could have.
My mom played Zelda.
My
and
dad was a big
was,
fan
like,
of
an epic
Majora's
gamer.
Mask.
And
My dad.
yeah, Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. She was really big on that. She had like all the cheat sheets and the whole, like
Oh, she did a research
book, and yeah, she had a little
My God.
binder. She had shit written down in, so it was like,
Yeah, I grew up around Zelda. I've played the games for a long. I played all of them because of my dad. He was a big Zelda fan. He had me play at a young age. He had me play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask back to back. It was a fun time. I got to, but when I look at the franchise right now, I can tell they're definitely innovating within the game space, which I do like. But my main concern is that where is the writing? I mean, don't get me wrong. Nintendo games aren't known for their writing. Let's be real here.
no, but the whole idea of like the story and everything, just having
Like, give me a purpose. Tell me why I should go save Princess Peach.
right.
Give me a reason why I
that's
need
what
to go
I
wake
was
up.
saying. Like, why
Tell me
am I
why I
gonna
need to
do
wake
all
up
this
Zelda's
for that?
sleepy ass. Why is
You know
Zelda
what I
on
mean?
NyQuil? Why is she always asleep?
If Mario
Tell
would have
that
had
bitch to wake
tenure
up.
back in the day, he wouldn't even had to go through all that struggle.
Man, I would have killed Bowser. Oh, Mario show up just to give me a ride. Like, you got, I don't know, the whole like weak female kind of, meek or like helpless or whatever. It's just kind of
I don't
off-putting
agree with you,
growing
Devil,
up.
about it's wrong. It's just I think it's a nice feeling to switch a pace when you go so accustomed to it being like set in stone, like a damsel in distress. It's like,
Why does she have to be a damsel in distress?
that's my whole point. Like,
It's
that's where
trauma
I'm like,
triggering.
why is she in
It's
that
just complete.
situation to begin with?
It's not just about making, main female characters. It's about what substance does she have? What can she do? Is she, because I don't want to go chase around and try to save some chick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that narrative, but to me, it's kind of like what we were saying in the horror films, like when it's outplayed, when you see so many installments of it, it's like, okay, like we fucking get it. Like
There's another way to
this
teach
bitch needs
kids
help.
how to,
Like
like,
we
care
gotta
for
go get
their
her. Yeah, and
female
that's
partners. It's not, I mean, it's programming, psychological stuff.
I
which
just
is
think that
bad.
yeah, I think that we're in the new field. Okay, we've dealt with the damsel in distress thing for more than a decade, especially in the classic games. We're in a new field now to where we can actually have stories behind these characters, something to give us a reason why we need. I mean, I understand. Like, I mean, I'm not saying oh men saving women, that entire thing. I'm just saying, like, give me a reason. I want a reason. Don't make it just like I'll go because I want a reason. Give me a reason why I need to go save Princess Peach. Give me a character. Show me a character of hers that is engaging to where I want to go save her. It's like, oh shit, Bowser's about to fucking kill her. I need to go save her.
Like
There's
there's a
never
little
that.
incentive there, you know?
I need an incentive. There is no incentive. It's just a goal. It's just an end goal. That is just that's all it is. And I'm not saying, what are you just saying, women empowerment? The only thing I'm saying is that give me a reason. I just need a reason to save the character. It could be, give me a reason why Zelda needs to save Link, vice versa. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter me by gender.
Well,
I need
Well,
a
I
character.
I don't want to go even say the genders are reversed. Like, why am I going to go save some dude? Like, what are are we going to take over the world?
We just
What are
need.
we
You just
doing?
need.
We're
We
just
need a
going.
character.
I'm going to go save this guy so we can just, what are we doing? Nothing.
go have
Fucking
coffee.
nothing.
Hey
What's
man,
the
what do you want to do
incentive?
after we beat this game? I just
Right.
saved you. I
Yeah.
mean, what are you getting into? Well, I was just in
Let's
that
go get a
fucking
coffee
castle.
bean.
Let's do an example. So let's say this is Princess Peach. No
That's a
character.
phone.
I just for examples here.
No, I'm just messing with you, bro.
Let's pretend this is Princess Peach. Oh, you got to go save the phone. Now, let's say you go save Bob Ross. Now, we know who Bob Ross is. We know his character. We know his backstory. What would you go rather save? This blank ass fucking phone that means practically nothing, or fucking Bob Ross?
Just
I
Dude,
want
do
a
your
go
own
character.
save
shit.
Bob Ross. He's gonna teach millions of people how to paint and to fucking make a
Real
bird
inspirational.
when you mess the game up.
Have
Make
you
a
watched
bird,
that
man.
documentary on him, Oracle?
Oh, yeah, the documentary. I
Did you
watched it,
watch
by the
it?
way, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm
Anybody
tempted to
who's a
break
fan of
this.
Bob Ross ought to watch that documentary, and I guarantee you will never purchase anything with Bob Ross's name on it again. And
I would
nothing
never
against
anyway.
it's
But
nothing
it.
against Bob Ross. It was just how
Mm-hmm.
the leadership fucked him over on so many
Oh
different
yeah.
levels. It's bad. I mean, it left me thinking, my God, like if I built a legacy like that to leave my kids and then have somebody come over and just take it over and then exploit my name for monetary value, no, that's bullshit.
It's
But
I
yeah, it's
think
definitely a good watch.
disgusting, and it is
Yes.
a very, it's very potent. I think a lot of people are very unaware of how industries work and the mechanics of them, and what, if you don't have all your lines crossed and your
Bells and
I's
whistles and
dotted, dude,
yes.
there's a crack somewhere, and somebody who wants some of what you have, or they want your job or whatever, somebody will find a way to get in there. And it's really important to have proper management, have proper lawyers, have proper things set up so that you never have to worry about stuff like that. And that all goes into who do you trust?
um
Well, nowadays you can't trust nobody. I mean,
this is what Devil just commented. There was nothing wrong with things how it used to
oh
be.
yeah, I
Being
see that.
progressive did the complete opposite of what progressive is supposed to be. Now we live in a world where we're not afraid. We're afraid to offend someone. I mean, it's not about offending anyone. It's about character. Give me a reason. Fuck the
Yeah,
politics.
look, I'm not
Give me a
trying to
reason.
sound woke either. I'm not trying to be
Offended?
that
Who are we
dude.
offending?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we're trying to be woke or leftist or anything by saying that, a damsel in distress is just out
looking at
fucking
it at a
played. It's
storytelling
just when you've
standpoint.
played so many games along the line of that narrative, it's just like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, right.
Give us
It's
something
boring.
more
It's
refreshing
boring.
than just, hey, you see that bitch? Go get her. You know, I'm not saying like bitches and like, hey, but I'm just saying figuratively, like, you know,
Right.
go get her,
Yeah.
save her, and that's it. It's like, okay,
I was
well,
like, "Oh, you got something else?
you know what I
Anybody?
mean?
You got something else? You
Now
just
there's
go
nothing
out and read
wrong.
a fucking
There's
book
nothing
or
wrong.
watch a movie and get some ideas in your head of like different varieties of stories, but I'm not woke at all. I'm
What's
old
like Sweaty
school.
Pants just said, just not doing the same, the story that has been done a dozen times over and over.
It's over and over and
That's the whole
over
thing. I
and
mean, and
over
this all
again. And
transpired
somebody's
because of Zelda.
always in
Like,
distress.
you know, and that's well, even if you look at the original Mario with Kong, what
Yeah.
was the objective? You're climbing up the ladders, you're dodging barrels and shit, and what are you doing? You're trying to get to the top to the girl.
Yeah.
And then, all right, the next Mario comes out. What's the whole objective? Oh no, she's in trouble again. Well, I mean, if I'm with a woman in like 4, 5, 6, 7 times, she ends up in the same fucking predicament. I'm
No.
thinking, exactly. I'm like, well, no, look, we're gonna have to talk about this. It's not
I'm
you, it's
busy. I have a
me.
new number. I moved.
Yeah, you know, I switched professions. You know, plumbing really ain't hitting on nothing. I'm doing electric work now. I'm sorry. You know, I'm out of the field. Like, that's it. But they continue to run with that narrative, and to me, that's
Well, that's what
just
I was talking about, like trauma. And, it's like this cycle. And anything that you do on a regular basis or a daily basis, say, you become
super meat boy.
psychologically and physically, that becomes a part of you. So you play these games and you're always trying to save the girl or save somebody or do something this way or that way. You you build that into your mentality. And it's not like, oh, you play violent video games, so like you're gonna go out and kill people. No, that's the release. That's the disconnection from reality where you do something that you cannot do in real life. But when you psychologically build that into every single game where you're saving somebody else, you're doing this. You grow up, what do you do? What's your first relationship like? Are you chasing somebody? You chasing this girl that's constantly hanging out with this dude that, and
That's
then what?
broken, got
And
insecurities,
that's what I meant about like
self-esteem
the
issues.
programming and stuff
Let me
like that
fix you.
because it's
I'm
all
programmed to fix
psychological.
you.
Why can't
What's
we
like,
do cooler shit in our video games? Like why?
I think what the problem is that I think people are just the cliche of save the princess. It's old, okay. And look, whatever devil. Look, I'm not looking at this at the political standpoint. I don't know what your guys' political beliefs are. Me personally, I'm not a
I
political
think it's
guy.
completely irrelevant to what we're talking
I
about.
don't have political
Exactly.
Yeah.
beliefs.
What we're talking about here, I'm talking about storytelling and reasoning. The cliche of I mean, if you can do the cliche of saving the princess and make me want to go save the princess in a compelling way, then yeah, go for it. But when most of those save the princess games, it's just they treat the character like a goal. It's an objective.
Oh, win
Give
the
me a
woman.
reason.
Wow.
There was no
Flex on them.
politics behind it. Not about emasculation. We're talking about storytelling here.
Yeah.
Not fucking all men are looked out. No, we're
I
talking
mean,
about
most people
storytelling.
that feel like that, it's just like be comfortable in your own skin. Like if you're masculine or immaculate, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, do you? Well, like at that point, that's the way I feel personally. It's like I don't cast no judgment on anybody that does what they want to do.
All I really care about is if people are good people. Do you respect yourself?
Yeah.
Do you love
Yeah.
yourself? Are you good to humanity?
Well, do you contribute to society in
Oh,
any
yeah.
way?
It,
That's the whole goal. Like with the as much of a blessing as life is, you know what I mean? Like, what are you contributing to the world versus just sitting on the internet talking shit about or being like how he was describing being woke or being leftist or just doing this? You know, it's like, man, go out and do something, be productive because you're going to be a whole lot more productive doing something rather than doing nothing. And I mean, that's my views on it. It's not even about being political. Lol. I have a more conservative viewpoint, why am I being criticized for my? We're not criticizing you
We're
at
not
all.
criticizing you.
No.
It's
No, we're
good to
just
have these
voicing.
kinds of
We're just having
conversations.
an open discussion on
Yeah.
what you're saying, and I didn't say
We're not.
anything
We're
about
not.
someone being a leftist.
We love the
Devil,
devil.
no,
Come on
Yeah.
now.
I mean,
Devil,
yeah.
we're not casting no bad shadow over you, man. We're
No,
just
not at
having a
all.
conversation.
No, hey,
It's healthy
I
to do
appreciate.
this.
Hey, look. In all honesty, I appreciate your support coming on and watching the stream. You know, you got an
None of
opinion, and
us are all gonna
we all have
have
opinions, and we're
a
just discussing.
viewpoint from the
We're
same
just
place.
discussing different. I mean, we're not all going to agree on the same thing. That's what
No.
humans were born to do, not agree on the same things. But it's good to have these types of conversations to show
And
off.
we sharing
to
opinions
learn.
on everything. Yeah,
Share,
you know, I
share,
mean, we're
learn.
learning and growing with each other about
We're
what
not.
we're talking about.
We don't have no bad blood against you, Mr. Devil. We fucking
No,
love
not
you
at
here,
all.
dude. But we're just having a conversation, you know, to learn. It's healthy to do that, because I think with most like debates nowadays are very heated. It gets violent. Like,
Oh, hell
what
yeah.
happened?
What happened to be having a civilized conversation about something and agreeing to disagree, and then being able to be like, okay, you don't like the shit I like, that's cool. You don't like, you know, I don't like the shit you like, that's cool. Let's compromise and find something that we can agree on, and then go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, which I'm not saying I didn't like the Mario games or the Zelda games. They're iconic as fuck. But all we were discussing was, as far as the installments that have came out repetitiously, the main objective is saving the princess. And that's where the issue lies, as far as, you know, there could be a little bit more incentive or a little bit more story there. Whether you agree with that or don't, that's your personal preference. And we'll just agree to disagree and move on.
For sure.
Yeah. So, Devil, I mean, I respect you for I respect your opinion. You know, it's good to have these conversations. We're not casting no bad shadow over you. I mean, to me, it doesn't even really matter by a gender standpoint. It could be the female saving the guy, but give me a reason to save the guy.
That's just, I mean, to me,
it ruins the whole fun
in a game. Like, do something else. What's the goal?
Well, it was like, I keep going back to Hellblade, just because, I mean, to me, I mean, if it would, like, mechanically and everything would have been more sound, I think it would have been more of a masterpiece. But when we talk in regards to, like, flipping the script or whatever, the objective, like we talked on, is the woman had to go through the depths of hell to try to get her partner's soul. It was like a redemption story. There was like incentive, like you knew from the beginning of like what her objective was to get there. These other ones like they lack that narrative. And like we discussed, like Nintendo hasn't really been big on narratives from the get-go, you know, so that's a flaw as a whole. And that's what we're touching point on. And I think that's the main issue, is if they had more incentive behind why you're going to do it, it would be more compelling to be like, okay, I'm down with that. I'm intrigued. It piqued my interest.
Same kind of storyline, but with juice in it, with meat. I mean, you don't sit down at the table and just like nothing.
No, on bone marrow. Like, this ain't Liver King. Like
that guy's on something.
Yeah.
No, that guy's a fake fraud. But but look, it's nice to have these conversations. This is healthy. This is something, you know, everyone should do. Most certainly. What up, Sony Punk? But yeah, I hate it when people try to interject politics into video games, because I think what video games are meant to do is not be political. It's something for everyone to enjoy, whether you're left, right, conservative. It should appeal to everybody. That's my thing. I mean, if you guys might have a different opinion, which is completely fine, but to me, we play games to escape, to live in a different world. And why would you want to play a game where the world, like, I never want to, like, politics are so split. So why would you want to split an audience? You want to be open to everybody. Being the political side is so, I mean,
it's just everything that we discussed. If you look at Sweaty Pants here, to a degree, Devil, I see what you're saying, but when you see the same thing over and over, it's nice to finally get something different.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. It's like, we're not saying anything along the lines of anything other than it would be refreshing to have that narrative be there.
Yeah, and really, I mean, if anybody brought up politics, it was kind of me in reference to programming, but I wasn't really
Well, no, I did to
talking
the
about
extent of comments in the
politics,
stream
but
too. Like when I hear
yeah.
woke, I immediately think of like leftists and like most conservative people. If they do say something about somebody being woke, it's more of a liberal, and then it becomes this whole clusterfuck of an argument. And I don't got fucking time for that. It's just there's no politics going on here. It's just we're just having a discussion. That's all it is. And I mean, if people get offended, then that's most likely on their own accord because you know what I mean? Like if they let some bullshit comment on the internet get under their skin, then that's a them problem and not a me
It's a
problem.
rough day, man. It's
It's
a
Yeah.
been a
rough day,
rough
man.
day.
You
Yeah.
having a
Yeah.
rough day if
People
you let
people
some
are built
random on the
different
internet
now.
get up in your head,
Yeah.
Joe. It's a
Yeah.
rent for
People are
you. It's
built
like a
different
real hard
nowadays.
statement.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
just
remember
think
back in the
that
day, it used to be a whole lot different when somebody talked to one another. You know what I mean? Like you really had to do something really fucked up to them
Yeah,
make an impact on somebody's fucking day. You had
right.
to really do fucking something. Nowadays, you just say something like one comment or something, and it's like, oh, I'm offended. Like you're canceled. Get out of here.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
like,
come
well,
on, man.
I thought we were friends.
We don't
Like,
have to
damn.
fucking hold hands or anything, but like, be cool.
Most
yeah,
certainly.
Devil just put here say I agree, Bacon. Well, my bad. Hold on, let me scroll down here. I agree. My point. Oh, Jesus, I'm scrolling. I can't use this by one
Yeah,
finger. I agree, Bacon. But for someone as myself who is a Christian, funny, haha. Yeah, I know my username doesn't sound like it, but I don't like. But I don't like necessarily agree with the stuff in TLRU2. The last was 2. It was a hidden agenda. What's your guys' thoughts on that? I didn't really mind the stuff in that. I was just wanting to see how the story would go from 1 and 2. The Ellie dating a girl thing doesn't bother me as long as it's decently written.
I mean, we're in a day of age now. The only thing, this is my main problem, and this might get a little out there in regards to like people that talk about woke and having characters do these certain things. It's like, okay, if you're going to promote the gay community, trans community, etc., where the fuck were you at in the 60s, 70s, 80s? You know what I mean? 90s. If you're promoting that shit now and you're an advocate for these type of people, you know what I'm saying? Where like Doritos come out with like rainbow packaging now. Oh, we support you. Well, where the fuck were you at back in the day when people were getting killed for this shit, ridiculed, demoralized, like their character was being tarnished by who the fuck they wanted to love. And now all of a sudden, oh no, it's cool. Let's get these dollars. Let's market it and shit. Like in regards to what you're talking about in the video, like her falling in love with or having a girlfriend or whatnot. To me, that's where it's like, is there some agenda behind that? Are you catering to a certain audience? And then that's where I'm like, where the fuck was
Well,
that from the get?
well, there's
Where
also
was
of
the support for it? Yeah. Where
yeah,
was it? Because for all of mankind, people have been choosing
Yeah.
sexual partners of the same sex forever. Forever of humans. So why, oh, now they want to make money off from it. Now they want to, and it's cool to some degree, but it all goes back to big money.
Yeah.
And
I'm
gaming
sorry.
is going to have to become more categorized
Yeah.
to where like, oh, this is, like companies being this is a strictly horror company. This is a strictly sex bot company. This
Yeah.
is a strictly, mechanic puzzle company. And until they get to that point, you're going to have a lot of gamers that are unhappy because whether they're religious or they just don't, like certain things, like some people don't like
Yeah.
horror, some people don't like gore, some
Well,
people,
like
it's
a
like,
lot of parents don't like their kids being exposed to certain
how many parents went
things.
out and bought their kids The Witcher because they didn't know what it was?
You know what I mean?
they're
And
blind to the rating
yeah.
system.
How many parents went out and bought
GTA, San
5 for
Andreas,
the kids.
for example. You know what
They
I mean?
they complain, oh,
You know,
GTA is so
Cyberpunk.
violent. GTA is so violent. Don't let her. Then don't buy the fucking game for them. They
And they have
can't
no
buy it.
idea,
You
like, oh,
can.
you can
Yeah.
have sex
Don't
in
buy
this
them the
game, or
fucking game. It's obvious as that. There's a rating system for a fucking reason, but you're blind. You're too fucking stupid because you don't
they
care for your
won't
fucking
read.
kid. You just want to put a fucking game in front of them so you can fucking have an easy day and not fucking raise a kid. That's what they do. Parents are just fucking lazy at this point.
But it's bad. It's
Well, I
really
mean,
bad, man. There's
if you don't want your kids to be exposed to it, then why the fuck are you giving them the material?
they go out and they buy a game. They don't read up anything about the game. They don't know, what goes on. And it's really just a shame, and it's really, I think, been one of the bigger pushes of tipping the gaming industry in the direction that it went, as far as, like, extras and buy and do this. You buy a game and then you got to get this, and then you got to buy something else, and then there's the DLC, and so technically a game costs you like $120 plus whatever
microtransactions for
money you need to put in
cosmetics. You
it.
look at Fortnite, kids coming up, hey, I need V-Bucks.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Dude,
to me,
like-
kids nowadays are like the modernized like crackhead. They're like, I gotta have
Roblox.
V-Bucks.
Yeah.
I
They
gotta have
literally
it.
have to see that. That's like,
Yeah,
we have
well,
this.
well,
What's
nowadays,
What's that mean?
but nowadays, like the majority of people, I mean, this is just my opinion. I would think that the majority of people are buying digital games, right? Back when you used to go to, I don't know if where y'all are familiar with,
Well, a
but
lot of
back
them
back in
do,
my day,
but
you'd go to EB Games or GameStop and you try to buy a rated M game, and we're going to need to see some ID with that.
you
But
get
then you
the
go on here, and it's just like, oh, well, let me just. You need my card? Okay, let me buy you the game. I'm not even going to look at it. There's no
take mom,
precautions.
go pre-order the game. Mom pays for the game, all that, and then you get it. But does mom look and see what's the game is actually about? No, she doesn't care. She's just there with her card. And then the after effect. Oh, what are you playing? What's that on the TV? Like,
I agree with Dr. Hino here. He put a comment. I'm so tired of the promoting of minority creators too. Why not promote all types of creators instead of segregating?
I agree with
see
that.
there's some truth behind that, because I think once you start classifying or categorizing it as like this is a all such and such category, this is a all such and such, you know what I mean? It kind of like, to me, it like divides people to an extent. But at least, I mean, I see where like the
people divide
categorization.
themselves, man.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I see the
It's just,
categorization being a
it goes back
plus
to
and
animal instinct.
Humanity, it's its own worst enemy. Like, legit.
well, if you think about
Is
it
it-
as like humans are nothing more but a virus, and Earth is the host, and we're just consuming the host and fucking destroying it. That's
Pretty
all we
much.
are. Yeah. If you look up what a virus is, that's what the fuck we are. I mean,
Like, we're at a point where society has changed so much from the past 100 years. We know now we know the science behind things. Now we know how to prolong longevity. We know how to live longer. We know what to eat. We know what to drink to be safe and to live longer. We should be at a point to where, like, I promote everybody by I promote everyone, no matter what your race is, your gender is, your sexuality is. I love everybody for who they are. As long as you're a good person, you're cool by me.
yeah, be compassionate, love. Everybody wants to be loved. Well, I mean, I can't say everybody, but the majority of people. I mean, there's a rare occasion there's somebody that's like, hey, man, I don't like empathy, stuff like that. But most general people love to be loved. Just be compassionate, help out, and the world will turn a whole lot better. You know what I mean? Like, just do your fucking part is the way I look at it.
Compassion is entirely underrated.
Yeah.
It is, especially now, especially on the internet. With the invention of the internet, you can say the most horrible, racist, homophobic thing, and you never get punished for it.
Oh, but
because you
wait,
can use time.
You
but we
say
got
that in
freedom of
person.
speech. Yeah, but
We
we
do
got
have freedom of
freedom of
speech. Yes,
speech.
we do
Oh
have
no,
freedom
no,
of speech.
I'm not saying. I'm saying it in a sarcastic manner. It's like people use that as a fucking shield to be a dick.
Right.
It's like just keep your fucking mouth shut. Like you don't have to go on here and have homophobic slurs, racial slurs, hate speech of all kinds. Just shut the fuck up, dude. Like no, like just take that shit on somewhere. Like
If you, this is a saying that I always grew up with. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't fucking say it at all.
Hey, man.
yeah.
And it
Hell,
doesn't
I got
matter.
a
This
couple of
thing
people
goes
I
for
hang out
everybody.
with. I don't even talk when I'm in their company. I just sit there, you know. And most of them, they're like, "Man, is something wrong? What's wrong?" I mean, normally you're
Nah.
talkative. Is everything all right? No, man, I'm good. Yeah, no.
Good.
I mean, yeah, the affiliation we got going on right now, though. I mean, I'm just gonna do me.
But to put things in a nice little bow tie and wrap up this Christmas present, in my opinion, I think that for at least gaming, I think the diversion in the gaming communities is a bad thing. In my opinion, I think everyone should enjoy a game equally, no matter your beliefs, your race, your sexuality, your gender, your
And that don't make
conservative,
us woke.
leftist.
That just makes us human. That makes
That
us
makes us human.
fucking, lovable people. We care.
And it's so easy just to label someone.
Well, fuck the labels, though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
don't
fuck
even.
the labels.
I'm a human being that cares. It's compassionate. I'm passionate.
We're all
about
the same.
human beings. I love.
We
life.
have
I love,
skin. We have a brain. We have two eyes. We have an asshole.
No,
Okay?
well, look. I'll be clear. I'll let me reiterate that that's not necessarily meaning I agree with everybody's stances on things and their lifestyles and stuff like that. But if that's what the fuck you want to do,
I'm not going to bring you down.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
that's how. I mean, that's just the nitty gritty.
Because you're just making someone's day harder. Why would you want to do that to somebody?
Why would it even matter? Like in regards to you talking about Ellie having or whoever had a girlfriend in the last how the fuck does that hurt me? How does that affect me personally? When I wake up in the morning, I don't think, gee golly, that shit really just fucked up my whole goddamn day. Baby, you're not going to believe this. They put a lesbian up in that game. It just really fucked me up. How am I going to live the rest of my life? God damn it. Tell the kids we got to pack. We got to move. Fuck. This is the second time this year. You know what I mean? Like, we got, who the fuck cares? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I mean, like I said, I don't.
Who cares? Just be respectful and be nice. The world is better for it. The world is better for it.
Well, people that, and this is just my point of view, people that actually touch, on that subject, like they point their opinion at oh my God, I can't believe they did. I mean, to me, that shows their true colors to an extent. You know what I mean? That shows how the gears are turning upstairs. When they're wired like that, it's kind of like, okay,
autofocus, man.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, can you not think out of the box? Just think out of the box. Stop being in the fucking box for just a little bit and then step outside of it and look at what the fuck you're saying. It don't make no fucking sense. Like, you're really getting bothered and triggered by that shit. Like,
just take a peek, man. Just peek out of the box. Just look out there.
That's my opinion. Yeah, that was ass.
Just have a look.
That. You know what I mean? And then, a lot of people, if they grow from that, then maybe we'd just be a whole lot better. Maybe more people could agree, and maybe we could agree to disagree without it being such a fucking argument.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It really is. It's so easy to be good to other humans, regardless of, what's coming out of their faces or what they're typing. It's easier to be good to people than it is to be a piece of shit.
Well, it's like try to draw a correlation with what we're talking about in video games too. It's like Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Are you familiar with that? It's the Borderlands spinoff.
Oh
Have
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about? Like the D&D kind of. When I initially looked that game up, the reviews on it were, "Oh, this is woke. This is woke. Oh, this is pushing the LGBTQ or whatever agenda. Like this is that, and this is." It's like, why is that such a big deal for you to have to put that as a fucking review? You know what I mean? Like, play the game. If you don't like it, then don't play it. You know what I mean? It's just obviously not for you. I personally, I played it, didn't have an issue with it. Now the DLCs were trash. Like that was a whole nother story in a nutshell. But as far as the gameplay, I never once sat there and thought, man, this is so fucking woke to the point I can't even play it.
I do agree with Devil on some point to where, like, I know companies in the gaming industry just use the LGBTQ as a vehicle.
Yeah.
Because let's say you make a bad game, a really bad game, but let's insert some LGBTQ stuff. So if anyone points anything bad without it, you're a homophobe. You hate the LGBTQ. You're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
They do that, obviously, and they do it for money. We all know this.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying about the corporations that are exploiting that just to get the dollars from people that support it. It's like, where were you at the whole time?
I just realized in chat, we went from politics. Now they're talking about pineapple on pizza. The whole chat.
That's even better. Now. No, look, I kind of ignored that because I mean, that's a whole. I was thinking that was the most controversial shit I've seen all night. But I chose not to even that's where I was saying.
Do you like pineapple on your pizza, Michael Black?
Me and my wife was actually arguing, but we were discussing this the other day. And for me personally, I think there's like a threshold that you don't cross. And applying, fruits to pizza is one of those, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. It's kind of repulsive for me. Like, when I see it and think about it, I'm just immediately turned off. I'm like, no. I love pineapple by itself. But then when you turn, the element, certain, ingredients like sauce and cheese and dough, and it's just like, no.
Do you like pineapple on ham?
I think it's one of those things, personally, I just like it by itself.
Pineapple cooked is disgusting.
Yeah, no, like that's what I mean.
If you ever want to eat a really good pineapple pizza, put your pineapple on after the pizza is cooked. When it's still really hot, it's going to get mushy. So you want to let the pizza cool down before you put the pineapple on it. And then it's really good. But once you make that pineapple mushy and that juice gets into the pizza bread, the pizza dough is done. It's over. It changes the whole flavor of the sauce.
Rat Gaddy put pineapple on pizza is good if you want your blow to taste nice. And I'm just, I don't even think I could even touch on that,
Fine.
Oh,
do you like pineapple on your pizza?
I'm not a fancy guy when it comes to toppings on my pizza. I just like either pepperoni pizza or cheese pizza. I've had pineapple on pizza. I agree with Michael Black to a certain point to where like fruits, just like fruit on mainly like uncooked fruit onto really cooked on food, like on pizza. It's like having pineapple. I've seen people eat pineapple.
Put pineapple in your cereal.
Like,
and tell me,
that shit's aside.
That. You know what I mean?
Look, but I'm not judging anyone that likes pineapple on pizza.
Just saying.
I've never heard of avocado on a pizza. I mean, I've had avocado; it's good, but like, I've never fucking.
Sometime put some slices on your slice of pizza.
Look, if you ever watch the Ninja Turtles cartoons, you'll understand why certain toppings don't belong on a pizza. Fucking like Michelangelo's like, I would like a garlic with salmon crust fish flakes on the pizza. Teenage Mutant Ninja. Yeah.
Can I get a chopped up tuna steak on that?
Can I get marshmallow fried tuna steak bites on this pizza?
Yeah, like what
with
the fuck
olive
were they?
Oil dip?
Like they had to be high as a motherfucker.
Oh no, yeah.
Munchies,
Like, you
man.
know, they
Like,
say
they're just
Shaggy and
throwing ingredients.
Michelangelo was a stoner, and so is Shaggy. Okay,
Oh
let's
yeah.
not beat around. They dropped the Velma trailer. Did you see that, Mike?
I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh, neither do I. But I
Yeah,
just had to.
I'm sorry.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like how you were talking about the Mario thing. Like you caught a glimpse of it, and then it was just like, bloop.
Like when I told you of it before, you were like, "I
No,
mean, that
thank
wouldn't be
you.
bad," but then you realized it's cartoon.
Well, I mean,
Look, I don't care that they changed Velma's nationality to Indian.
ethnicity.
That's the last thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. But my problem
I
is
love
that
all Velmas of any color. I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
you know, I mean,
get her as long as you don't get rid of the yellow fucking the yellow the shirts, the
the
skirt.
orange. Yeah. Oh,
Don't
Jinkies.
get jinkies.
Yeah.
But
Oh, Jinkies.
my problem is that it's like you're doing the creator of the show, Hanna-Barbera. You're not doing her justice at all. Like you see that Velma. That Velma is nothing compared to the old cartoon Velma, the ones that were made by the ones who made the Flintstones, the Jetsons. Like watching Scooby-Doo
Well,
is like Scooby-Doo is very near and dear to my heart. So if they're gonna fuck it up so bad, it's gonna hurt my feelings. I love Scooby-Doo too much.
I think what it really boils down to is when somebody's creating something, no matter what it is, that's their interpretation. That's their spin on it. We can agree. Like it's like what we were talking about, discussing and disagreeing to, or agreeing to disagree. Just because they didn't hit the mark that we was wanting them to hit doesn't necessarily mean to themselves they didn't hit that mark. To themselves, they're probably thinking, I knocked that shit out the park. I'm the one that made her this way. I envisioned this. Nobody else had done it in the past. And look at what I did. They're probably, proud of that. And I mean, that don't mean we have to agree with it, but I mean,
but do you think the Scooby-Doo material should? But it's the thing of, do you think the material of Scooby-Doo should be adults, like be adult center? I mean, I don't mind an adult show with Scooby-Doo. In fact, I think a Scooby-Doo show with the entire gang and an adult centered content, it might work if it's done right.
It's like what we were talking about. This is just my opinion, but it's like what we were talking about with how many movies and games that have the same narrative over and over and over again. Okay, if you look at whenever the fuck Scooby-Doo came out, we all grew up watching it. We grew up and they didn't. So, I mean, what the fuck happened there? Is my thing is like, are we actually going to see some kind of progress to where it's like, okay, they actually grew up, they're at, their own lives or something?
Cool to see them as adults and
yeah, you know what I mean?
getting together to do this stuff. Well, they have like families and jobs and stuff like that. I mean,
like the ins and outs of like the damn mystery machine breaking down and shit. Like, how are we going to afford an alternator? I don't know. We got to solve these fucking cases. That's where it's like I grew up watching.
How are we gonna pay that mechanic bill? Okay.
Brad Gaddy put in the chat saying, "I've seen episodes of Scooby-Doo on Pornhub."
Hey, that's I'm not gonna say I haven't either.
Scooby-Doo.
But
I think that was the Scooby. I think when I watched the trailer, like Velma, it doesn't feel like Velma. Like she's literally on the phone telling people to burn in fucking hell. She says that. Burn in fucking hell.
That's what I was saying about that was the direction the creator was going for.
It would be cool, for just like an end cap, but why everything they gotta just take shit too far for me. Like,
it's like
I'm the kind of person that thinks like there's only maybe two movies that I can think of that had more, the second and the third series of videos. And the second or the third was better than the first.
Yeah, especially with the
create like it's like writing a book, and you have all these characters in the first chapter, and then all of a sudden they're
Well,
the
the
same
first
people,
chapter
but
is
they're
what brought
different.
you
Like,
into the
it doesn't make
series.
any,
When you
you
start
know.
reading that first iteration or whatever it is, or watching it, that's what really captivated you to begin with, and that's what brought you to liking the series. And then it's like, where can you progress from there? And if you don't hit that mark, that's where it's unfortunate, from a viewer standpoint. And I mean, that's I guess that's the gamble with creating content or creating any kind of source of entertainment. It's like either you're gonna hit that mark or you're not. There's still gonna be some form of judgment. You're gonna have a crowd. Like we might be disagreeing with it, but I would guarantee you there's probably some group out there already on Reddit or somewhere that's like, I fucking love that.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, kid shows being now more adults in it, which, I mean, as long as it's done right, I won't mind it if it's done well. But I feel like they're just using it as a vehicle to just make garbage. Okay. Did anyone ask for a Velma show where she's seeing people's heads cut in half and seeing
They're out there somewhere. We did.
Those are the people that need to be watched by the FBI. Okay.
right.
Those type of people. Okay. Look, I'm just saying, I'm not going to call. Just saying that there's a certain point to me as to where, like, are you going to be true to the people who originally made the character? Are you going to do? I mean, I know it's your own take on it, which is fine, but are you going to treat it with respect when you do your own iteration? Treat it with, but it feels like they're just treating this whole Scooby-Doo show with Velma like a vehicle to push some garbage out, in my opinion.
But that's where I was saying. That's where I was saying. But that's our opinion. But if they're catering to a certain audience, then they hit their mark. It don't matter. They're not catering to us in that aspect. I mean, we could sit there and talk shit about it all we want to, but at the end of the day, the show wasn't made for us. It's just like we were talking about pushing agendas and everything else. If they're trying to cater to that type of audience, I mean, what does that audience really have other than that? You know what I mean? And that's where they're like, well, let's put our spin on it.
I get that whole with Velma and I was kind of like,
yeah, it's unfortunate. It came out of nowhere.
Little Prairie and the new version of it, and they all have cell phones. Like, get the fuck out of here with yourself.
Yeah. It's like watching Little Bill, and all of a sudden, Little Bill's Little Billie Eilish. It's like, well, what the fuck happened there?
What are we doing?
Well, you switched the game up on me. All right.
Make a cool video with your Billie Eilish in another video.
Yeah.
Make a whole new story.
A spinoff or something, or just, I don't know.
In an alternate world.
Yeah, she has a strap on. But,
I mean, come on.
Some people would like it. You know what I mean?
I'm not. They just.
I mean,
Little House with a cell phone.
Overdoing remakes and just trashing shit that doesn't need to be trashed.
Some of it needs to be canned.
Make it another. Make that idea another video. Make that another movie. Make that a book. It doesn't have to be a part of this or that.
I don't know. I love Scooby-Doo too much, and I'm worried what they're gonna do with this show. And if I swear to God, if they ruin the characters in a way it doesn't make sense, I will walk up to WB Studios and I'll slap the guy who decided.
Sounds like they already have, though.
Well, then I'm gonna proceed to that company. I'm gonna cock slap the guy who started that idea.
Can I see your coffee? I need to pee in it.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Where's your coffee maker? I need to shit in the filter.
Let me. Where's your
lay waste?
Yeah, no, that's I don't know. Like, I personally don't see it like being successful, or like the general consensus I would believe is it's a flop. But I do think that to the group that they're catering to, or the type, you know what I mean, I think they'll enjoy it. But I don't know. Like, well, in that vein, what did you think, Oracle, about Mario not having an ass?
Why?
Why did he not have an ass, or
Yeah.
why?
What's the purpose of that?
To be honest with you, as long as I played Mario, I don't think I've looked at his ass one time to know he had a badonkadonk. That was my take on it. When I seen people talking about it, I was like, hold up. I said, Mario was thick.
Yeah.
I was like, I never knew. I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
I was like, damn, must have been them damn mushrooms or something. Like, I
You're
never
eating
knew
them
it.
pizzas, boy.
But then when I seen the like side by side comparison, I was kind of like, what's going on there? What do you think, Will?
It's changing characters. It's unnecessary. They're doing it all the time now. Like, oh, here's a remake. Here's this. Here's that. Let's redo this.
I
And
think the
then,
worst
like,
example.
somebody was complaining recently about the Little Mermaid, and I got into some like internet argument, and I was
Look.
just pissed off that they changed her fucking hair. Why is her hair different? I
No,
don't
he's talking about
care.
like a
I
red
don't care what
hairstyle.
color she is. I don't care.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter
It doesn't
as
matter
long
to
as the
me.
movie's good.
Is her costume the same?
the
Is her hair
aesthetics.
the
Yeah.
same? She
I
got her
mean-
fish with her? Or she brush her hair with a fork? I'm just curious. Those are the things that I care about, and I think that, like,
Well, now I'm
they
worried what they're
just
going to do with the story, because the story of Little Mermaid is, she goes out to the surface, she meets the guy, she wants to stay on the surface. I'm worried what they're going to do with the whole story of that. I'm worried for that. But with the whole, look, I know people were a big uproar about her race change. I don't care. Okay, the race change does not bother me at all as long as it's true to the original movie. That's all I care about. Her being African American, I do not give a fuck. As long as she is still the same character that she was decades ago,
the sweet,
and treat it
soft,
right.
gentle. I wanted her to have that hair shape, you know. She had the whole hair.
this
Like, I
might
grew up thinking that, like, I wanted to be Little Mermaid. It didn't occur to me that she was white and I was brown.
Yo,
I
Amy
wanted her
Schumer,
hair, bro.
dude. Amy Schumer would be the best Ursula. You know why? Because she's fucking evil.
I
Just
could
saying.
actually see that.
Amy Schumer as Ursula. I do see that
Yeah.
too.
I could see that.
That's a good one.
Or maybe Melissa McCarthy. Maybe not necessarily.
That's not bad either.
I could see her playing the role.
She's funny as hell. I love Melissa McCarthy.
You know, the one thing that
Her
gets me
face
though
is
with
so
like
sweet, though.
mermaid thing is like, I was introduced at an early age into different cultures. And upon that, I realized, certain cultures don't like getting their hair wet. And that's kind of where I'm like, how in the hell is that going to play out with a mermaid being underwater? Like, to me, like, I don't know. Just makes me question how they're going to explain that part.
Prisoner, you need to chill. Okay, you need to chill. Oh God.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh,
we ain't even
no.
going. We ain't even going to. It might be
But
that time to call it. At that point,
it could be.
I know
It
Oracle's. She's got. She said she was on a. We actually went way the fuck over that
Yeah.
time.
I don't
And
mind.
yeah, I know, but I still like to keep that in mind. I've thought about it earlier, but I was like, we were having such a good discussion that
I don't mind.
yeah, for the most part though, I enjoyed tonight. I think today has been a good day for all of us. Everybody in chat, thank you for the
It's wrapped
support.
a very chaotic day up for me. So
Yeah.
thank you. This nice Kino comfy goodness.
We appreciate you coming on to the show, Ancient. We really do.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. I love all the goodies in the community. I think there's a bunch of us that are actually really amazing people. And, we're all just scattered about in different places, but the communication and the camaraderie, the friendships, and the people that we've been able to game with and stuff. It's been really cool, man.
Yeah, I've had a good night tonight, especially today. Today's been a fucking hell of a day, and it's good to end off tonight with a Kino Comfy show with some Kino Comfy people.
Yes.
It was very, very fun night tonight. Do some little shout outs to the chat. Shout out to Frank Caves, Dr. Hino, Rat Gaddy, Prisoner, You Move Mad, Devil. We appreciate you, sharing your opinion with us, Devil. No bad blood against you. It's good to have those types of discussions. We like to just shout
Even
out
if you are
Sony
wrong.
Punk.
No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
With Sony Punk, Pocket Kitty. Thank you all for watching today's show. It's been a blast. We can't wait for our next show. Tune in for Bacon Wednesday. A part 2 of the Kanye video is coming. It's gonna be a big one.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus. But yeah, thank you all for coming into the show. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell. Follow us on Twitter. And yeah, stay Kino.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, stay Kino and stay comfy. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.